Okay. And we are back. Hopefully, we get some folks to join. Um, I really do hope we get people to join because it'd be nice to see people in our chat and engage with tonight's episode. I think it's going to be really cool. I would love to see folks show up. It looks like we got 4 already watching right now, so that's cool. Appreciate you guys. So I want to say, what's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to you guys. Glad you guys came back for another week of Age of Men podcast. If you guys don't know who we are, I am today with Julius, and to my right, to maybe your left, this is C3 Nick. Nick, how's it going, man?
All is well, bro. Always happy to be out here in a man's world with my partner
And
in
if you
crime.
guys know boy, man, psych. No, we're just
What?
kidding. We're just joking. It's just a little inside joke we always do. So, yeah, man. So all is well with you. Everything good?
Yeah. It was a freaky full moon last night, and it was a blood moon. I don't know if anybody caught it, but it was super orange. It was good looking.
The orange part I didn't see, but I knew it was a full moon last night and then the night before, which actually is pretty cool. I mean, with the way our roommate said, it's pretty cool. So we got Grace in here. She's a good Julius and C3. What's up, Grace? Appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, so this episode tonight, you guys, again, if you guys don't know Age of Men podcast, we are a podcast that stands for men. We want men to become masculine again, whether help them through whether it be mental health, depression, and getting back to masculinity. We want men to see that you can become something in life if you work hard and be consistent. That's why Nick and I do what we do, so you guys can see where we started from to where we end up going to. So we want this podcast to be a podcast of good dialogue, good conversations, being transparent on both sides, kind of understanding the who, what, where, when, why, and how on both sides. Not sure I have a biased view. Um, so we do appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, this is the Age of Men podcast. This is a podcast where it's a man's world, but we know it'll be nothing without a woman. Psych. No, just kidding. Again,
What?
inside joke, inside joke. But again, appreciate
What
you guys for
the?
being here. Do hit that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you guys be notified when we do go live. You guys could also follow us on other social media platforms. I am everywhere at Today with Julius. Nick, are you everywhere at C3 Nick, or is it a specific name?
I think I finally got that all on the same. Yeah, it should be C3 Nick everywhere.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make sure you guys are following us. All social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys are also following us on Instagram at the Age of Men podcast. Right now we have a YouTube and Instagram. We will be getting a Twitter, Facebook, and all that good stuff down the line. With you guys' support, we will be opening more doors for that. And hopefully one day we're going to Patreon so you guys can see exclusive conversation that we can have in there. So things we can't really say on YouTube.
And
So
ladies, if you're lucky, I heard there's rumors Julius might start his own OnlyFans.
yeah, I know. Call it only today.
Only today with Julius.
So yeah, so tonight we're gonna be doing an episode. We're gonna be reacting to Fresh and Fit. They were on Valuetainment Money, Adam Sosnick's live that he does every day. If you guys know who he is, great dude, funny guy, has great live stream, great conversations. Fresh and Fit is a podcast that's been very, as they say, controversial based on the things that they say. They have topics that people will find misogynistic and things. I'm just telling you, these are all the words that people seem to say about this podcast, but there are people out there who do find their information very valuable because they speak on things about men and women, the dynamics, what it's like for a man, what it's like for a woman, what men want, what women want. I've seen their podcast, many episodes. I like their conversations. I know sometimes we can see all the dramatic of it all, girls getting kicked out, things like that. It is their show, so they can run their show how they want it. The same way people say it's a private business, so they can force you to wear a mask if they want you to. You don't gotta shop there. Same thing. If you don't like their show, you don't have to watch it. So just trying to throw this out there because I know people are on both sides of the I agree or I disagree or I hate them or I like them. There's always going to be those two sides every single time somebody is putting themselves out there to give out information that may be valuable to other people, especially to men or women. So they're somebody said only feats, yeah. So tonight we're gonna be reacting to. So there's a whole live stream, but we're going to be reacting to all the clips that was talked about throughout the live and just kind of give you guys our take. And hopefully you guys chime in and engage on what you think about is being said based on the dynamic between male and female. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Again, appreciate you guys for being here. Do hit that like button. Let's go ahead and jump right into that. So this here.
And a reason we think this is so important for maybe laymen that might be watching this show, for lack of a better term, the red pill movement, I'm sure you guys hear this phrase a lot. Well, we're trying to put a little bit of a face on it for better or worse for you guys. And Fresh and Fit are pretty much the pinnacle of the mainstream red, or for lack of a better term, like the contemporary red pill movement. They're really representing it. And then you got Value Entertainment, which, Julius, you know them better than me. They're kind of also involved in that red pill discussion, right?
Yeah. Valuetainment is I don't want to say split, but it's a branch from PBD podcast. I do forget his name, so I apologize. What's up, Angela? She's F and F clowns. So PBD has a podcast, and Valuetainment Money is the branch of that company, and so Adam Sosnick is the host of Valuetainment Money. He does live streams, I believe, every single day, or at least a few times a week. Always great live streams, though.
Really popular, right? Very, very popular over the past 6 months, I would say, especially.
Yeah, Angela's been on there for, I think, like twice, maybe 3 times.
How serendipitous, Angela. Perfect timing for us to give you a little plug. Our good friend Angela in the chat, always supporting.
Yeah. So, and mind you, I do understand. Again, Angela said F and F clowns. I totally get that people may feel a certain way towards them, but I want to just kind of react to just what was said in the live, and for the live audience, kind of just talk about that dynamic. People are going to feel a certain way about them, which is totally fine. I get the red pill spaces. Some people like it, some people don't. That's just what it is. Everything that happens in life is always going to be a like and dislike for it. That's why YouTube has a like and dislike, because but then they took it away because people were sensitive. But I digress. So,
well, Julius, I'm your perfect partner in crime for that, because I am totally naive on all things cultured, folks. So it's kind of fun for Julius to bounce these things off of me on the live. I'm seeing it for the first time with you guys out here. So
if it's one thing that I know for sure, Nick, and this to the audience as well, is that every time I bring up like culture, TV, movies, Nick's like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, you gotta understand, bro. There's so much messaging. It's woke. And Nick's like, oh, okay.
Well, I just air to you. You're my culture guru.
I know, dude. It's hilarious because Nick had no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, you ever see this movie? He's like, nah. Hey, I should read more books.
I ain't seen a movie in 10 years. No, I should watch more movies.
I've seen a movie in 10 years. No, dude, I watch movies all the time. I the movies because, especially nowadays with things being woke, I can totally see the message. Look, I just saw the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. It's an animated movie. It looks really cool. That color you have in your background, Nick, it's kind of had that color dynamic in that movie. The problem is that it did seem like every half an hour there's always a woke messaging. There was a trans kids lives matter, protect trans kids flag in that movie, a Black Lives Matter flag in that movie. They had somebody. Protect trans kids flag in that movie. Sorry about that. Hold on. Sorry about that. That's my phone.
Julius has gone against the algorithm. He's speaking out.
Seriously. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of woke messages. Dude, at one point there was even fat Spider-Man because body positivity.
Get out of here, man! Fat Spider-Man.
Yeah, it wasn't like the movie itself was a woke story. It just throughout it kept sprinkling everything. Yeah, one guy who hated capitalism, like it's just stuff like that. It's just like roll my eyes to. They had this. Okay, real quick, a little side note before we get to the video. They had this character, right? This black Spider Woman. She was pregnant. She was swinging around with her baby, doing all this fighting bad guy things like that, right? She's doing all of that, but then Peter Parker, who brings his baby, to the Spider-Verse, they call himself a bad dad for doing that. And I'm like, so you're a bad dad for bringing your child to the Spider-Verse, but this black woman who's pregnant, clearly second trimester, is swinging around and all this.
Nobody tell me how to raise my kids out here.
You know what I mean? Like it's just stuff like that. I always tell Nick, like, this is what they're trying to promote. It's just crazy stuff. But anyways, nonetheless, again, we appreciate all you guys for being here. God bless you all. What's up, K-Train? So, all right, so here we go. So this is Fresh and Fit. They were on Valuetainment's the live audience. Usually they go live stream again a few times a week, but this time this was a live audience special event to have Fresh and Fit back on. And Nick and I are going to react to all these clips about the understanding between male and female, or the differences between male and female, and kind of give you guys our take. So this comes from the YouTube account Law of Distraction. I want to shout out Law of Distraction for having clips up on their page. So shout out to Law of Distraction. Go subscribe to them. Hopefully they watch this video and don't mind us shouting them out. So here's the first video right here. Now, a lot of this debate comes from this woman named Melina. She is the wife of a YouTuber named Destiny. YouTuber, he was on Twitch. He got banned on Twitch at one point. And she is very, she loves to debate. And she likes to always kind of get her point across. Sometimes I do think that she likes to argue just to argue. But she loves to debate. And I try to understand her point. I try to listen to where she's coming from. And try to say, okay, I see what she means, but does she also know this kind of thing? So this is what you're probably going to see throughout most of these videos is her debating with Myron on these topics. So the first one is called Melina tries to catch Myron slipping, then gets bodied. I guess I have to ask of is she coachable? So here is that. Let me play this video and yeah, we'll react to it.
Like the best girlfriend is damn near your assistant. She makes your life easier. If you're operating at 98%, she gives you that extra 2 to 3% to get that extra percentile to go to 100, 101. Like that's what a girl does. She stands behind you and helps you out and makes you better. Because as you grow as a man and you become better,
oh, hold on.
She directly benefits from that. But when it's the other way around, she looks for a better man. That's why I always argue women can't be in leadership roles. Because when she's in a leadership role, she's going to look to other men because women aren't natural born leaders. So that's what it is.
Hot take. This is going to rub so many women the wrong way.
Once she meets the attraction threshold, right? Then from that point forward, she's got to be coachable because from there you mold her and make her a better woman. I know, oh my God, misogyny. But the reality is women want a guy that's dominant, that's going to make her the best woman she could be for him.
So I think that is not coachable. I think that the woman is willing to do it without being coached.
I'm okay with coachable. I'm an athlete.
No, it's like a man doesn't need to tell me. A man doesn't need to tell me, hey, help me to do this. It's like I'm willing to do it because we're a team.
I think you're just.
So I feel like it's not just coachable. Well, it's just willing to help.
That's what coachable means.
Are you a mind reader though? Are you a mind reader?
A Miami girl? No, I'm from Minnesota.
Are you a mind reader? Can you read someone's mind?
No.
So wouldn't it be fair to say that the man has to tell you what he needs so that you understand?
No, but it's willing to help. And whatever you're doing. Like you have a business, hey, do you need help with something? Okay.
Yeah. I think the word's just stressing you out.
That's called coaching.
In a team, there's always a coach that coaches the team.
Right.
There has to be one leader. Women and men are not equal in a relationship.
Just bring up the definition of coachable. It will be solved. We're fine.
Ladies.
It's just helping each other, though.
Yeah, the point is that he has to tell you what to do so you know, because obviously you're not a mind reader. And I argue this: if the woman doesn't know or she doesn't have the proper guidance, that's the man's fault.
Right.
It's not the woman's fault.
Okay.
As a leader, you take the responsibility and you bear the brunt of it, but you need someone coachable if you're going to go ahead and take the responsibility for your authority.
Okay, I understand your perspective now.
Go ahead.
Maybe we can say that she takes initiative.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, she can take initiative, but at the end of the way,
orders is kind of a lot. You can maybe inspire.
There's going to be certain times though where I'm going to need to tell you something and I don't have to explain myself. And I think women need to be able to take orders from a man. Hey, I need you to do this. Hey, do this, blah, blah, blah. And the thing with women is that a lot of the times they're more concerned with how information is conveyed versus the information being conveyed. If we're at a location, right, and I see something popping off that might put us in danger, I'm not going to sit there and be like, let me inspire you to be safe. Yeah. I'm going to say, get the fuck out of here right now. Some shit's going down. Get out of here, right? But that's important because when in times of danger, whatever, you need to be able to communicate directly. I'm not going to sit here and coddle your feelings and be like, hey, I think something's going on here. let me inspire you to like, duck because I think they're gonna start shooting or whatever. Like, just get the fuck out of here. You guys leave. Like, and I'm not gonna explain myself because that's a waste of time. So women need to be able to take direct and concise orders sometimes from their man. But I'm gonna put a burnout performance on the men. He needs to be in a position where she respects him and she's able to do things without asking questions. When your girl's asking you questions, that's a very telltale sign that she's not sure of your leadership qualities.
Let me ask you a follow-up question on this. So this has to do with dealing with men versus dealing with women.
Can we pause it, Julius?
We run valuetainment around here. Anytime that I want to...
What's up?
There was a lot there. I just find it so funny. Women have such a hard time just accepting like delegation from their man, the leader. The girl was saying, I think that there are women who are willing to play that support role without being coached. It's like, you're missing the whole point. You need the coaching because you don't know as a woman.
Yeah, I love what the chick said next to her. She said, I'm an athlete and I have a coach. So I kind of like that metaphor that she said that, because why is it that when women are athletes, we accept a male to coach them, but when it comes to relationship, they don't want to be coached by their man?
Or their employer. Their employer, they accept it too, all day.
Right. No, exactly. And that actually goes into the whole, like, for example, with marriage, right? You obey your husband and the husband loves his wife. This is why I would agree with Myron when he says women perceive things a certain way. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I noticed that when you say things a certain way with certain words, like coachable, obey, things like that, to women, it's like it makes her feel
defensive.
Well, not defensive, but it makes her feel less than. And so she's thinking to herself, oh, so I'm just like a piece of trash. Like they'll gaslight and project. When in reality, if you want a man to be direct, right? For example, when a man approaches a woman, I argue and maybe hope that women want a guy to be direct in what he wants versus be like, listen, I'm going to tell you why I feel I had to, come to you and talk to you. Let me explain to you why I had to get up, come talk to you. I don't think they want that detail from the man. Just from the man and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Julius.
I don't think women realize the lines that they want men to walk and navigate. They want things until they don't, until they get it.
Yeah.
For instance, like the directness, and then you're being too direct. Or they want you to be emotionally available and forthcoming with how you feel. And then when you try to do that, they'll shame you. Like, oh, you're acting feminine. It's like,
and then that's
if you don't as a man out here.
Right, and that's what's interesting to me is that, you don't want a man to tell you directly, you want him to say it a certain way, but then when you become in that position of CEO or boss, you start directing people in the same way that you don't want the man to direct you. So you get what I'm saying? It's like rules for thee, not for me. So I get what Myron is saying, and I get the other side. I get what she's saying too. She's saying, if a woman is willing to do that, right? Women are usually willing to be coached and follow the leader if she has respect for that man. This is the reason why I would say, you might hear this in the videos, when a woman does have high interest in you, she would just follow your lead because she has that high interest. She sees the masculinity. She sees what you stand on. The moment you start to break that down and kind of like I'm not trying to say hold your guard up at all times. I'm just saying that the moment you kind of let that down gently and start to become a little bit more vulnerable, she's no longer seeing you as the way she met you. This is the reason why, men shouldn't fake the funk when you first meet women. If she first met you and you were that top guy for her, be that top guy throughout the entire relationship to the day you die. Because you can't be fake and funk just to get her where you want her to, and then drop and go, okay, now I can drop the act. Now she's like, wait a minute, I thought you were a masculine dude. Now you seem very vulnerable. You're complaining. You're whining. You sound like me. Yeah, it's like her dating herself. So she doesn't want that. She wants a man to always be sharp every single time.
I think men and women are both guilty of that, where once we feel that we got our hooks in the person in a relationship and they really like us or love us even, we slack off. We don't do the things that got them to the point that they love us anymore.
Grace says, after 25 years, after being together for 25 years, we're pretty direct with each other, but we also respect each other. That's a good thing. And this is the reason why the word complimentary To me, I think that word kind of gets misused. But it's good to be complimentary to where you guys can be direct, but still have respect because you understand who's leading. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it because we're going to see more subjects like this in those clips. But that's I was going to lean more towards. So this is the reason why I think the 50-50 thing kind of gets a little bit muddy, because I think the 50-50 is about wanting to be equal when in reality somebody got to lead. It's why you don't have two managers, and when you do have two managers, one's always the manager and one's always the assistant manager because somebody has to lead. So this is why I always find it interesting to me. It's like the word coachable sounds controversial, but yet if you were an athlete, you would get coached by a man. If your coach is a man, why do we accept that, but not the boyfriend or husband that you're with? If he's supposed to lead, isn't leading like isn't coaching in the way of leading? Now, if I'm wrong, those of you in the chat, if we're wrong about this, let us know because I'm just giving you my take on this, and I'm just saying I understand where he's coming from, and I also understand where the woman with the glasses is coming from too about her being willing to do it. I think that willingness only comes from if she respects you, if she has a high interest in you.
Well, ladies, I want to ask you this while we ponder this and answer while we watch the next part. Do you guys want a 50-50 partnership equals? Or do you want a leader in a man? Because you can't have both. So if you're 50-50 partners, by definition, you both can cancel each other out literally, equally. A leader, on the other hand, has the final say. He's the captain, and the woman might be the first mate. I've heard people say they like that analogy. But there has to be a final authority in a leadership position, whereas a partnership is just 50-50 and you're both equal. So, ladies, let us know what you think. Do you want a leader in a man, or do you want an equal partnership, or where are you at with that?
Yeah. Because I think when it comes to 50-50, it's like, again, I understand it because you want that equality. But if both are only given half, then how are you supposed to have a full relationship if both of you guys are only given 1 foot in but then 1 foot out? You know what I mean? It's like somebody got to go 100 all the way. Both can't be 100, which is why you had the 50-50.
Well, also, there's a lot of risks to it's not all just equal treatment and like you're now up on the level of like how the men are respected or whatever. There's a lot of responsibility and burden that men wear being the leader. Like their last name was stamped on the package of your family, and they're the ones that are going to go down with the ship if it goes awry. You're going to get to go find another leader and get on a new ship as a woman. Yeah. We go down with it.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and continue with the video. Great take, by the way, Nick, too. And again, you guys in the chat, do chime in. Let us know what you guys think.
Want to go tell some of the guys, hey, need you to do this. Hey, listen, it's raining out. We're going to need some towels. We're going to need some umbrellas. Hey, for the most part, the guy's like, all right, on it. Now, sometimes when I talk to women, this is whether it's at Valuetainment, whether it's any place else, I'm like, hey, need you to do this. They will say things like, talk nicer to me when you do this.
Yes.
Can you
no,
can you
bitch, go
say
do it
that
right
a little
now.
bit nicer? I didn't like the way you made me feel. So me, as a leader, as someone that's trying to steer the ship, I have to be cognizant of like, oh fuck, time for me to talk to the girl. Let me be nicer.
Yes.
And then approach that a different way, which comes foreign to me. Like, it's not like I wish I could be like, hey, baby girl, clean that up, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, all right, keep it moving. I wish I could do that way, but I've realized that the way that I can speak to men is different than how I speak to women. And that's just, I mean, the ladies on the panel are sort of nodding. So how do you distinguish that? Meaning, like, we're 100% on the same page. It's raining outside. Go get some fucking umbrellas. I don't need to be like, so it'd be really nice of you if you could get an umbrella. Like, I don't want to have to do that, but I find myself having to do it. So how do you deal with that when whether it's business, personal relationships? Like, how do you understand that?
Obviously, the workplace is going to be different than an intimate relationship, right? But I mean, there's some things that overlap and some things that don't. With your girl, you don't explain yourself. Hey, this is what it is. I don't negotiate with women. I don't negotiate with terrorists. This is what it is. In a workplace, obviously.
Gotcha. So your relationship is separate than work. Got it.
Yeah. Like, there's some things that overlap, but in general, like, you don't sit there and negotiate with your girl because that implies that you guys are equal, and you are not.
Wait, can I ask a question? I'm really curious. So if you go on a date with a girl and she asks you, what kind of marriage do you want with someone in the future? How do you pitch that? Like, how do you pitch your marriage should look like? Is that what you say to them?
I tell them you're gonna have to share me with 3 others.
And just like be my bang maid.
Huh?
I want a bang maid. I'm cool with that.
You hear the
Just
band in the
say, like,
background?
I want a bang maid, pretty much.
Say it one more
You
time.
would just want to have a bang maid. Like
bang?
you want an assistant bang, like fucking. You want to fuck someone that assists you. That's your partnership.
I love how that's what the only piece.
Well,
of
that's what it
information she got
seems
from
like
that.
to me. Or you can explain it.
Well, the thing is, I understand that as a man, I need to have the leverage. I need to be the leader. I need to be the dominant for her to actually respect me and want to be with me and submit to me. So knowing this, I have to have certain mannerisms and behaviors that stay congruent to that. So the thing that women are really good at detecting is incongruencies. If I perform myself to be a certain way, and then after a while she realizes this guy is kind of a pussy, blah, 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 that's going to make her get turned off even faster. Because now she sees, okay, this guy isn't for real.
Look
So
at the room full
you
of
gotta be
betas
10
just
toes down
soaking
with
it in.
females all the time.
Soaking
So
it
you're
in
doing
betas.
it because you want her to feel like she's under you, pretty much. So that's why you're giving it orders.
What?
Like because you're above her, right? You're the one giving
gaslighting,
direction.
bro.
You're the leader, so she's above or under.
Well, that's just how
Hold
it
on,
is. I mean, if you're a leader, someone has.
I'm gonna pause right there, and we'll finish the last couple of minutes or so. But I gotta pause right there, Nick, and I'm not trying to be biased, but I've watched Melina on these podcasts a lot, and I'm not trying to say she's a bad person, but to give a little background, right? I don't think it really matters, but Melina is her and Destiny have this like swingers relationship, if you will, like
Open relationship. Yeah.
have sex with other people.
And Destiny's a very big influencer, right? He's kind of more liberal, maybe you could say, but he's reasonable enough to talk to conservatives.
He was once conservative, but I think something changed his perspective, and he kind of leaned a lot more liberal. I think to me, he's very good at having arguments and debates and whatnot. I think he's really good with that. But
very influential, though, right? Very, very big.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What I find interesting is that what Melina talking about, because Myron's basically giving the detail on how he wants this woman to be, as far as kind of like the assistant, if you will. You know what I mean? Like sorry, I'm kind of blanking out right now, but
personal receptionist, secretary, assistant, yeah.
And so to hear Melina say, because she pitched it as, if a woman asks you about marriage, how would you, if she asked you about marriage, how would you pitch that to her? He say, and they have to share me with the other woman. And she's like, oh, so she's just your bang mate? Stuff like that, to me, when I hear that, it just seems like it's a gaslighting, projecting, like, oh, you just want to, but yet you're a woman that sleeps with other men. Your man allows you to sleep with other men. So you're a bang mate for other men. Why do you then try to call somebody else and say, oh, you just want to use a woman for a bang mate? But you yourself are getting banged by other men. So aren't you just a bang mate for other men? It doesn't make any sense. That argument, I'm not getting on her specifically. I'm saying that argument doesn't make any sense when you yourself are a swinger. But then when they say, well, Myron is just wanting to just use him to bang him, he clearly wasn't even talking about banging the entire time. He's just talking about how she can be complimentary. Even though he may have a multiple relationship, he's still saying how he has to be that leader even in a multiple relationship. Again, not my thing, but I understand what he's saying about being that leader, even if he has multiple girlfriends or wives, right?
Well, to that point, Julius, Grace said, he seems to be wanting to be a leader. At the same time, he's also talking about holding himself accountable to what kind of man he needs to be. And then her very next comment, she says, share him with other women? I missed that part.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to get on board with the polygamy. So, again, it's not my thing. And again, I don't know what it's like to be a millionaire and be in that position of having multiple girls like me. I'm not in that position, which is probably why my mindset is the way it is. Even if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't know how I feel about that. Right now, that's just not my thing. But Grace is right. That's exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about wanting to lead and how to hold himself accountable when it comes to leading. So when Melina comes in and she's just like, oh, so all you want is a bang mate? But it's like, if you ask him, how would he pitch one in a marriage? And his answer is to share me with other women. And then you say, oh, you just want a bang mate? You're gaslighting when you're the one who set up the question in the first place. But nonetheless, I digress. To take it back, she said, heck to the no on sharing. Most
Grace said, what the? When she saw that he was talking about multiple women.
Yeah, I know. Most women don't get down with that. But nonetheless, again, to speak about the leadership thing, um, I do think that women value men who can lead. Any man that doesn't lead, a woman will lose that attraction because when she met you, see, it's like everything. It's like you know, I say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes we tend to do that on the first date. When she meets you, you know, she sees this strong, confident dude, laid back, you know, wholesome. But because he started to get closer and he felt that, man, she really likes me, and now it's like he can get a little more comfortable because we tend to do that a lot of times in relationships. We'll get with somebody who likes us back, and then we start to get a little more comfortable because hey, she likes me, I got her. So what else do I need to do? And now I can just
now I'm on easy street. Yeah, I'm gonna be the loser I really am.
Yeah, exactly. So I think when you start to lose that leadership, that's when she follows somebody else.
She's gonna be stepping out on you when she wants sexually satisfied, or she's gonna dump your ass.
Yeah, if you don't step it up, she will be stepping out.
And you can't blame her at that point. You were a beta in disguise as an alpha. You deceived her.
Exactly. Then we'll play this last couple minutes, few minutes, and then we'll watch the next video. So let me this.
So it's not like you actually need an assistant. It's more that you just need to make her feel like she is for her to stay. So she feels trapped, like she can't do anything else.
Oh my god!
No one's putting a gun to her head saying, "Hey, you have to stay with me."
Yeah.
She could choose to leave at any time.
Okay.
The thing is that when you are that guy, she's not going to go anywhere because she knows that she could be replaced. Women typically get in line when you have other women in line. You'd be surprised at how being in your frame, women will go ahead and follow you.
You think that sounds healthy? Or does it sound a little toxic?
Well, they wouldn't be in a relationship with him.
I don't think most women would want to be that. To just feel like a constant stress of being replaced. Do you guys want to be replaced?
You know, men feel like that every fucking day.
In your relationships? Yeah. Most women are not in open relationship. That is absolutely not true.
Most the stats show. I know a lot of
There's no stats that shows that most people are in an open relationship.
Let me talk, bro. Please. Most women
Bro.
are in open relationships. They just don't know it because he's stepping out. At least Myron is honest enough. Hold on. Is honest enough to say.
They don't know, so she's cheating.
Hold on.
Can you let her talk?
Can I freaking say a word? Shiva. Like,
Huh?
is honest enough to
That
say,
fight,
hey,
wow.
you're going to be one of three. Yes or no? And they're going to say, yes, because they know what type of value he is, what type of man he comes to the table with. He's being present, providing, protecting.
Here's the thing.
You're
Most women are going to leave.
That's
what's going to happen. Most women are absolutely not going to be in line.
Melina,
Adam.
I might Frank Castle you at this point. Like I might do it.
Really?
You can talk when you're talking, but when I'm going to talk and ask the question to our awesome audience here is when you go on mute.
Go on mute.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta rein these hoes in.
Yeah, so I want to point something out too as well. With Melina, right? With her specifically, I really don't understand what her arguments are because she's in a polygamous relationship. So for her to argue on this gaslighting, like that's why I find it interesting to me. The more you listen to her, the more you realize I've been listening to her content for quite some time. I've seen her on podcasts. I've seen her with Sneeko and things like that. And it just sounds like she likes to argue just to argue. And for her to try to gaslight and say things like, oh, so you want your female to be trapped and this and that because she's in a polygamous relationship. So she's given her freedom to do whatever she wants, essentially. And so when a man wants a certain thing from women, to her, that's being trapped because he's not allowing his girl to get banged by other guys. So to her, it's a trap. And I find that funny from girls who are in polygamous relationships. Now, I don't know if it's most girls who are in polygamous relationship, but just don't know it. I can't say that for sure. But Melina is in an open relationship. So she chose that. Who's to say other girls don't choose that as well? That's why I think her argument kind of just doesn't stand still. Because if she was monogamous, had this God, Christ, man, woman kind of role in the household, she can speak on a lot of things. I'm not saying she can have an opinion, but I'm just saying that her arguments don't make any sense when you're in an open relationship, you're getting banged by other dudes, and you're having sex with females too. So to gaslight and make it seem like a man who wants to lead is essentially trapping his woman. It's not the case at all. He's just clearly talking about whether it's monogamous or, I can't speak for Myron about the monogamous part, but I'm saying whether it's monogamy or polygamy, if a man is not leading in that relationship, that woman or women will step out and find somebody else who will. Simple as that. It just seems like nowadays women are not accepting men to be leaders unless they
directly benefit in the moment. Like they just get an obvious benefit, then they'll take the leader.
It's like they want a man, but still want to be independent and single.
Have their cake and eat it too. And what I found funny is all the girls seem to kind of like viscerally react when they thought of the idea of, well, do you think that's healthy for a woman to have to be sitting there worried that she's going to be replaced at any time? Ladies, it's quite funny to see you in that position because you understand that's where the average man sits all the time with you women.
Yeah, it's the reason why when a man loses his frame, she goes out and leaves with the next.
You got plenty of options out there, always trying to come to the paint, and the man's just trying to make sure that he doesn't lose that shine in your eye. But that's it. I don't feel much pity for you. Welcome to the plate of being a man. It's not always fun, is it?
Right? You want your equality?
Welcome to being Eagles.
Yeah, I know exactly. You want your equality? Well, here it is, served on a silver platter. Okay, so this is the next video we're going to be reacting to. As soon as it loads, let me see me out of this.
Everybody give it up for my boy Julius, by the way, too, who's always holding down the production for y'all out there, always bringing the fire content to my, again, naive ass when it comes to the culture. It's certainly not me providing most of this stuff, to say the least.
No, man, I know. I'm always on YouTube, man. I'm always trying to watch, whatever's out there, get some content and things like that, man. I think to me, I just like watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube because there's valuable information, I would argue, on there. I mean, not even just for relationships. Sometimes I watch criminal stuff. There's a YouTube called Law of Crime Network. I watch that just to see what's going on with crime in America. You know what I mean? So it's like I try to see why is it this race or why is this gender kind of thing? Like why are these things happening? I like watching stuff like that because it makes it easy to kind of understand why society is the way it is. So this next video is it says Myron dropped the mic moment. The asterisk says why you need experience as a man. Now this might be a little bit controversial, but I think this goes to men having a high body count versus females. So I get that conversation is very redundant at this point, but I'm curious to kind of watch this video with Nick and kind of get the audience's take on a male's experience versus a female experience. So
Julie, so we're gonna need the sound effect of Myron.
No, I wish. I mean, I think Chris provides that on the live because Chris was there too, their producer. So I think he does provide that, but nonetheless, I wish we did have sound.
We'll have to do it with our voices then, just to simulate it.
No, I know. All right, here's that video here.
We talked about love and, finding love. And then, after love comes, some may say, love and marriage and the baby carriers, that whole thing. So last time you guys were on my show, we talked about what a man should do, what things a man must accomplish before he considers getting married. We had that whole conversation. And of course, Ben Shapiro got wind of it and weighed in on it. Now, Ben Shapiro and I, although both being Jewish, could have not have any more different lifestyles as it possibly is.
Them boys in the house.
Them boys are here. Okay. So he weighed in on your thoughts on marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm more on the Myron school of things than the Ben Shapiro school of things. So we have this clip teed up. Go ahead.
In today's day and age, you shouldn't be getting married until you're at least 35.
That was my next question for you. As a man, what age should you consider getting married?
So I have, this is my thing that I tell guys. I think 35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year, you're in shape, and you got 6 months to 1 year of savings.
All right, done. I got to get married. I've done all that. That's easy.
Here's the Republic right there. So that is a recipe for a terrible marriage, by the way, guys. Waiting until you're 35 and slept with 50. That is a terrible recipe for marriage by every available data point. It turns out that you are much better in terms of getting married if you get married younger, if you do not have a wide variety of sexual partners.
For women,
about, being in shape and having money and all the rest. Like, you should try to do that, generally speaking. But this notion that you wait until you're 35, you've already made a bevy of mistakes that have shaped your character and made you much more rigid as a person, and that you should have had a basis of comparison in terms of sex of dozens and dozens and dozens of women. No, the data do not support this, and it's stupid.
I say all the time.
So, how many people agree with Ben Shapiro on this, by the way? Okay. How many people agree with myself and Myron on this?
And here's the thing. I know some people are going to say you're just making and coping, trying to find a way to have sex with a bunch of girls. So let me ask the ladies a question. Average 25-year-old woman went to college in the United States. Okay? What do you think the average body count is? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your peers or women that you know, not you. Okay? On average,
in the 20s.
What do you think it is? We'll start right here and then we'll go right.
On average, I think it's
25-year-old girl went to college, has a job.
It's in that 20 to 50 range, somewhere in that. I know
20 to 50 bodies?
Yeah.
She said, what about you?
Way more than the average guy.
I just looked this stat up.
20 to 50?
Yeah, I would say the same because the people I surrounded myself with.
What about you?
The question is, an average 25-year-old woman?
25-year-old woman, how many sexual partners do you think they have by the time they're 25 years old in the United States?
That went to college.
That went to college. It was to keep it simple, right?
Average,
or we can say didn't go to college, whatever.
25-year-old woman in America.
25-year-old girl in the United States. This could go based off your peers.
You're saying 20 plus.
Been around.
You're saying 20 plus.
30 to 50.
She said
30 to 50.
I said 20 to 50.
Wow, I gotta hear these
What do you
answers.
think?
Go ahead.
Well, from 3 to 10.
3 to 10? Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
No, I would say 10.
10? Okay.
3 to 10ish, probably.
3 to 10. Okay.
7.
7?
Yeah, I'd say the average about 10.
Ladies, one more time. This is not you.
It's so funny how the ladies down the line all went to a lower number. Like the first girl set the high bar, and then it was ashamed.
Okay. You said what? 3 to 10? Okay.
Just say a number, guys. Yeah, this 3 to 10 thing is
35.
like 35.
25. I've never even heard a girl admit 20. Not one single woman I've ever met in my entire life. We know a girl under-exaggerate their numbers, though, right? 10 to 20, probably.
Okay. Okay. Girls on the couch?
Sadly, I know women that have had a body count of over 100. So.
Oh my God.
Average though, really?
Well, we're saying average. I think you're talking average. You think it's 100?
Average is 100.
She said 100?
You're all lying.
Did she say 100?
We can say 80.
Shout out to Colombia in the house. What's up?
Wait. Hold on.
We're talking about the United States, right?
We're talking about we're talking about the United States, not Colombia, where prostitution.
No,
is
yeah. I went to school here. Yeah, I went to Tulane.
20?
And I would say average ballpark 80.
Damn.
That's fucking sickening. Sorry to say it aloud.
Everyone in this house is lying except me.
I would say
All right, what about you?
20.
What about you? How many you think the average woman? How many?
About 20.
20. Cool. What about you?
Average, I would say it's safe to say 30.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
This?
Who else? Yep.
A number that seems like normal is like probably 40.
Okay.
It's like the Price is Right. They're going for the next highest.
I know.
It's average.
$1. $1.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. Those
I wouldn't know what
shysters.
to say, but from the last time I went to school that I socialized with people my age, I would say maybe 20
Okay.
is the average.
Okay. Who else? Is there anybody else left?
Yeah, so many people that I know have been in their 40s. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Anybody else?
How do you even keep track at that point?
Anybody
you
else?
fuckers?
21.
21. All right.
I'm gonna say 23.
Yeah. Okay.
23, she said.
24. Okay.
Maybe like.
Girls don't even understand the question at this point.
In their 20s. Okay.
3 to 10s.
3 to 10. Okay.
5 to 20.
20. Okay.
I would have to say about 30.
30. Okay.
The average is herpes.
Now, with a show of hands, ladies, right? Okay. So it seems to me from all of your different answers, let's go ahead and peg it around 20, right? Would it be fair to say 20 to 25 here?
Way.
From everybody's answers, if I'm going to go ahead and average it out. So let's say it's around 20 to 25. Let me ask you this. For a relationship to last, who has to be more sexually experienced in the relationship, the man or the woman?
Man.
Okay, raise the hands if you think the man needs to be more sexually experienced for the relationship to work. Raise the hands nice and high. I want to see what the thing is. Okay, so that's the majority now. Just out of curiosity, who thinks the woman needs to be more sexually experienced for the relationship to work? Raise the hands. Nobody? That's why you need to fuck 50 bitches.
I rest my case.
Pause it right there. So for those of you guys who are watching in the chat, what do you guys think about that? So what Myron is basically saying is that women would have this expectation that a man should be experienced when it comes to sex in the bed, obviously, and so that's why when he asks who should be more experienced when it comes to sex, and all the women raise their hand, and when he asks if women should be sexually experienced, not many people raise their hands, or none at all. They're not raise their hands. So Myron's making the point that men should, sleep with 50 girls. Now, mind you, that's not my thing. I wouldn't, encourage that. But as far as the argument, now from my stance, I'm solely talking about the argument being made. I'm not trying to say Myron agrees. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just saying, like, from the argument standpoint, I see what he means by men having the experience, because there are women out there who don't follow Christ or anything like that. They have a more secular view. So when they get with somebody, 9 times out of 10, the woman wants a man to be experienced, which is why when the conversation of body count, the body count thing, right? The body count matter. The conversation usually tends towards, well, why does a man want a woman to have less bodies, yada, yada, yada? And why is it that a man can have more women but a female can't, right? And clearly you can see, even though this is just a small amount of people, I'm just saying as an example, you can clearly see that women want a man who's more experienced. So a man who does have a high body count would be a lot more experienced in the bed, therefore coach that girl, therefore lead that girl, lead the romance and things like that, which is why you didn't see them raise their hand when it comes to women. Now, again, I'm not condoning, I'm not saying men should be out there doing God knows what. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying based on the argument of why Myron says why men should sleep around with 50 women is because of the experience, because women want a man with experience. But if you follow Christ and you are a virgin, then it's best to get with another virgin and allow that man to lead the romance. Or if you're somebody that follow Christ after your mistakes and you practice abstinence, then you still should find a man who's practicing abstinence as well, wait until marriage, and allow him to lead the romance. That's all I'm trying to say. Nick, any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a few thoughts that come to mind. Sometimes ladies especially don't like hearing this, but sorry, there's double standards in this world. And oftentimes, in fact, to me it seems most times that a double standard comes about, it seems to be beneficial to women. So I think the times when these come about where it seems like it's unfair to women, you got to understand that there's a lot that benefit you. And I'll just say this. I don't really know any women out there like really yearning for, like, would cherish a virgin. In fact, they seem to kind of like make fun of that and shame them. That's why the 40-year-old virgin is a laughing stock for the man. Whereas that would be much more coveted by the woman. And the reason the double standard exists and the reason it's a different game for both is because men don't have the luxury of going out and fucking racking up 50 bodies if they wanted to. They have to prove of some sort of apparent value to the women that are going to be giving their bodies to him for him to even be getting engagement of sex. So most men can't ever get the numbers that high if they wanted to, whereas women got tons of men coming to the paint all the time. So your value as a woman is in if you are selective about who you allow of all these people that want your body to take part in it. Whereas for a man, your value in the sexual marketplace is if you can ever obtain sex in the first place. You have to prove of some sort of value, of worth.
Yeah, I see what you mean too, because I'm gonna read the comments in just a second. But so I was watching this podcast called whatever podcast, and he was asking about body count, and he asked the girl, "Is her body count like 70?" She kind of took offense to that. Her comeback was, "What is yours, like 2?" That was her comeback.
There you go.
I found that very interesting to me because she dogged him by saying, "Oh, what is yours only 2?" That implies that she's saying he cannot get females. So if he had a lot of females, she'd probably be a lot more attractive. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is how people perceive things. So this isn't about, from my stance, this isn't about, oh, red pill, Myron's the greatest. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you guys the perception for that argument alone. So when the chick was dogging the host of the podcast saying, "What's your body count 2?" that to her is an insult to him, as if he can't get women. So when a guy does, I'm not saying a guy should have a massive amount of high body count, because again, females worry about STDs, things like that. Does he have a child and all that? I get those worries, but I would argue, on average, women will prefer a man who's experienced versus a man who's not. But this is where my argument is. This is where I kind of have the pushback, because I find it interesting to me that people will say, "Well, if we're both virgins, so what happens if I get a virgin and I get in bed and she's not good or he's not good?" It's like the whole point of marriage is just to have children. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, you can romance, you can set things up, little flowers and candles. You can do all of that, but if your thought process is, well, if they stuck in bed, it's like, well, that's why the man should guide the romance. He should guide, the sex, essentially. He should guide her into having the best love making they will have. You know what I mean? So if the man's not able to guide her, then it's go ahead, Nick.
No, that's a great point. I just thought of off of that. First of all, when people say that kind of thing, like, well, none of them are going to have an experience, it's going to be bad. It's not that hard to figure out how to make it good. Okay, you'll figure it out. But secondly, it's in psychology. It's called pre-selection bias, and women have this. It's well understood psychological phenomenon that if a man has a wedding ring on, that man is more attractive by default to women, generally speaking, because it shows that other women have signed off on this guy. And that's important to women with other women. So again, it speaks to a male's attraction. The more women he gets, whether it's in bed or just swooning for him or whatever. Whereas for men, it's the opposite. Again, like, we see all these men want to get you all the time as a woman. And so your value to us, I mean, idealistically, is how much you can preserve that. Like, how little you give that out to people makes it more valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why in high school you see all the jocks get the females, because the jock's a popular guy. He got a level of status. Because of that, females like him. And then when females like him, other females like him. It's just how it is. It's just hardwired people in biology. Women are attracted to men who are pre-selected. It's just how it is. I want to real quick read the comments. Grace says, "You get some of me, and you get some of me, and you get some of me, and you get some of me until there's nothing left for my husband." Grace,
that's well said. I like that.
Grace dropping gems out here. Is it Iris?
Eris, I think, yeah.
Eris. She says, "I don't like high body counts for either gender," and that's fine too. That's your preference. Not want a high body count. That's totally fine. But I will argue that at the end of the day, the high body count is a thing. But I think there has, for women, they want a man to be somewhat experienced. If he's a virgin, I think fantastic, because then both of you guys can share something special together. At least in my opinion. Call me a simp for that one, but that's just my opinion. If you guys,
I'm with you on that, man. Let's see what Eris thinks. Do you want a man with literally none, or as least amount as possible, a virgin ideally, or is a little bit of experience like desirable?
She says, "It shows signs of lack of commitment. If I'm interested in you, I need commitment." Now, mind you, once a man decides that you are that one for him, I think he will be committed. I think we're just talking about before he gets with somebody that he decides to lock down. If a man, again, I'm not condoning it, because I think men should focus on themselves and not the women. But if he is casually dating and he does have sex here and there, and then he finds a woman that actually, is attractive to him, wants to have a long-term thing with him, and then maybe she has a lower body count or she's a virgin, he can then guide her, and with the love making and whatnot. Again, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that's what can be if he has that experience.
I can show you the world.
Aladdin. She also says he doesn't need experience. He can learn with me. Now, when you frame it like he can learn with me, if you're having to guide your man, you're not going to respect him at the end of the day, because if you have to guide the man, if the man's supposed to be a leader and you're the one leading him, you're not going to have that respect for him down the line. It may be fun in the moment, But post nut clarity, you're gonna realize I wish he would have took more dominant role versus me, learning with me. I'm telling him where to put it.
What kind of phrase we're gonna come up with for female post nut clarity, post squirt clarity?
I mean,
post nut clarity just feels weird when you say it like in that context.
Post squirt clarity. What's up, Sincere?
Oh, Sincere, man.
Sincere been here. What up, man? Eris also says, I think women have too many expectations. Probably a virgin, but 2 or 4 is whatever. Yeah, I mean, listen, we had this conversation before about body count, and it was a conversation that I didn't want to, but I did have a quote unquote rage quit moment. But it's because here's the thing. There is a difference when it comes to the body count. Now, women may not want a guy with a high body count because they get STDs, baby, all that kind of stuff, right? I think the two main things is STDs or does he have a child with this woman, right? That's the two main things. Some men may be weaker than other men and may have some trauma where they want to love through a woman, find love of a mother through a woman. That could be a problem too. I'll add that as an honorable mention. But I think that again, for the man to have a high body count, right? I'm not saying he should have a high one, but there's some experiences that he will have that I think a woman will actually wouldn't mind that. Because again, look at the conversation I was telling you about with this podcast called Whatever Podcast. He asked the girl, is her body count super high? She felt offended by that. And her insult was, what is yours? Like 2. The fact that she threw that jab at him was basically saying that this guy doesn't get women, or that he only gets two girls. Imagine if he told her that he slept with like 50 women. She might go like, that's crazy, but then be like, well, how did he get all those women? And
right.
Now,
the default is for a woman. The default is to just go to I'm gonna make it like he can't get women if I'm trying to insult him. And then also you notice when women are insulting other women, what's the first thing they go to? You fucking whore.
Yeah.
Because it's just the opposite,
Eris also says, nah, I mean he learns an experiment on me, not that I tell him what to do. Okay, well, yeah.
Based.
Yeah. That's why I would say, I would say that it's on the man to guide the woman. If he does have experience, I think men should be, this is just me. I think it's better for both to be virgins. That's just my opinion. If a man is practicing abstinence, I think that's great too. But ultimately, I think it should be the man that does lead the woman when it comes to the romance department, because him being dominant will make her even more attractive to him because of the fact that he's leading even in the bedroom. That's all I'm saying. Again, me personally, I don't condone men out there slipping around with a bunch of women, especially if you're not on your purpose, if you're not focused on your job, not focusing on yourself, you're not, getting in shape and things like that, having the mental discipline. If you're not doing those things and getting your money up and all that kind of stuff, and you're just out there chasing women with nothing else to do but being in the basement playing video games, to me, you're only going to set yourself up for failure, because that's all you rely on is the woman, right? That's all you rely on. But if you're a man who's on his purpose and can actually balance out casual dating, and you have those experiences, then you get with a woman that actually we want to have a long-term relationship with, then you can now lead her in the romance department to have that experience in the bedroom.
Sincere asked a great question, bro. And we're going to try to answer this throughout, Sincere. We're reacting to some fresh and fit information, particularly Myron, but he asked red pill logic from Fresh and Fit, good or bad, fellas? Well, that's what we hope to answer for you guys at the Age of Men.
Yeah, so this is what I think. I think that, what we're watching, right? We're watching these clips from, Fresh and Fit on this Value Tainment Money podcast. I don't have a problem with what Myron and them say. I think that right now, so Nick, let me give you this little background. So right now, Myron is in the hot seat because he was getting on Abba and Preach, which is these YouTubers, been around for quite some time, got million subscribers, all that good stuff. And it's been kind of like this back and forth of, Abba calling out the red pill, calling out Fresh and Fit, calling them gay, things like that.
I've seen a little of that. Yeah, I've caught a little of that.
Yeah, and so Myron went on the podcast and was getting on Albert and Preach, making fun of Preach with the dreads. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. Like I was laughing. It was just funny because to me it's like they're roasting him, and they clearly said that in the video. They said we're roasting this dude, so they was roasting him, and I guess Myron compared Preach to a monkey because the way he was just acting, the way he was talking.
What a racist!
Yeah, they called him racist, and then he went on Rumble with Sneeko and put this, I guess, quote unquote KKK mask on, and they freaked out, bro. Like they're like, oh, he's a Nazi, and it's like, bro, he's roasting you, and he's clearly trolling you guys, but yet you guys are so sensitive to be like, he's racist. Oh my god, and it's like, okay, so what? He said some jokes, he said some things because he's getting on Albert and Preach. He's roasting them. I mean, the beef is between them. So why are people who are not involved in that crying about it and being like, because I saw this one girl who was like, Myron said a racist thing about a black man and calling a black man a monkey. And I'm just like, bro, like he's roasting him. Back in high school, we used to roast each other all the time. We say the most outlandish things.
I call each other monkey and cracker and all kinds of things.
behind
best friends.
Nick's always probably the N-word. No, I'm playing.
We actually think that we were born in the wrong race. Like Julius probably should have mine, and I should probably have his. Like just based on our.
I'm actually white, and Nick's actually black.
We're transracial, folks. So if you don't respect that, you're actually transphobic.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but that was the issue. So my point in saying that is that people are gonna feel some type of way about Myron personally, right? Because again, that beef was between. It's like, look, you can have an opinion; it's totally fine, right? It's the same thing when rappers go through beef. People talk about it and say, well, "Why is Jay-Z beefing with Nas?" or "Why is Drake and Kendrick beefing?" I get that, right? And Myron saying some things. To me, it doesn't bother me that much because again, Albert and Preach has said some things about them. So just because they didn't say to the extreme that Myron did, how come nobody calling them out when they call him gay? No one calls him out for that. It's okay to call men gay, but yeah, you call him a monkey, everybody freaks out with that. But no one freaks out when Albert calls the Red Pill movement gay.
Hey, Julius, as a black man, would you sooner be called a monkey or gay?
I would call a monkey.
Monkey for sure, no question.
I mean, at least monkeys got some knowledge. Matter of fact, it's always the monkeys who are doing the tests, right? They always pass these tests because of their knowledge. I mean, plenty of the apes. They all got advanced knowledge,
bro. At least they're taking it in the butt. That's the main point.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So it's like, call me a monkey any day. Come on, yeah, we got problems. Yeah, so it's like it doesn't bother me. So again, I say all that to say that people will feel some type of way about Myron based on what he said towards Albert and Preach. But again, that's a beef between them. They can hash that however way they feel like it. Doesn't matter. But when it comes to what Sincere was saying about the red pill logic, good or bad, honestly, I think what we're watching so far, I think it's a good thing that men are seeing this perspective from both sides. You hear Melina talk about it, you hear the females and their argument. You hear both sides of your argument. So to watch it in real time, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think men can learn something from it. I will say, don't imitate it. Don't act like Myron. Don't act like these red pill guys. But just learn from it. You know what I mean? Like watch it, learn from it, see how it resonates with you. I know a lot of things that Myron talks about, I've experienced. We'll argue maybe even Nick has experience in this too. So we both have experience in this. So it's like I don't try to imitate the red pill, but I understand exactly what they're talking about in certain conversations. And to apply it now to my life, now that I'm 36 years old,
we were way ahead of red pill, dude.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Nick and I were actually doing this stuff back in 2021. Now, mind you, the Andrew Tate, the Fresh and Fit, they were still around, but it wasn't as prevalent up until 2022. I would argue about late 2020, mid 2022.
I had never heard of it when we were doing our first lives about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And in 2021, Nick and I would always go live on Instagram, and we always talk about male and female dynamic. I mean, we had a good audience watching too. We had like decent people always coming in and out and having conversations about male and female. We talked about this multiple times, but again, at that time, Nick and I were ahead of the curve. But now you got these a whole bunch of red pill movements that are now being a lot more prevalent. So if Nick and I had Asian men back then, we'd probably be in the same space that Fresh and Fit be in right now.
Yeah, we just didn't necessarily take it to that level because we're decent guys, not trying to capitalize on a trend that we started. Remember?
Yeah,
we were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we really was though. We honestly really was. As
We're on the
far as
record too.
the new
It's
age,
on the record.
Yeah, as far as the new age goes, we were there.
Let's get back to the clip, man. Without much further ado, that's
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. It's a great display of panel different perspectives.
Let me read some more comments. Eric says, "I don't have high expectations for men. I only expect respect." Yeah, I think both sides should respect each other. Both male and female should have respect.
And Yaris, that's good that you look at it that way, because just know that in my experience with men, talking to them, I think respect far and away is like the number one thing that's paramount to a man, even more important than love, I would say.
Yeah.
Because respect is everything's downhill from respect, including love. It all comes from respect for a man.
Yeah. Grace says, we met at a very young age. My husband was more experienced than me. I never held it against him because I knew he was committed to me completely, but he still needed training. Not all women are the same. No, I get that, but sometimes when a female does lead a man, it can make a man feel emasculated. Sometimes, it's not all the time. Eric says, I don't expect my bills, hair, and nails done. I don't expect you to be a high value man. But if you're cool, I don't need you to pay for my shirt still. Yeah, I mean, listen,
okay.
some females will say it's not about the money essentially, but sometimes it is though, because you always hear females say, I don't want to date bums. Right? They say that. So, okay, you don't want to date bums. That clearly indicates that you want a man to at least make some money, right? Money has to be involved. If you got to get in a long-term relationship and decide to have kids, you don't want to move into a house. You got to pay for the diaper. You got to pay for school. You got to pay for sports. Things are going to be paid for throughout your time together. So to say it's not about money for me, it is. Because if that's the case, then go find you a homeless man.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you ask females, would you date a homeless man? They'll say, yeah, I would if he's ambitious.
I was just gonna say if he shows some initiative and there's potential, he's ambitious.
Yeah, usually ambitious and driven.
We'll help him grow right into a home.
Yeah, and eventually that leads to money. So, but I get what Eris is saying though.
I like Eris. I just met her today, by the way, and we were just talking about it beforehand. She was very interested in our show, like legitimately. It wasn't like I was like putting on her. And she mentioned how she digs Fresh and Fit sometimes for like kicking crazy broads out. So I was like, you're gonna fit in just fine over here.
I'll be down to bring her on the show one day.
I'll have to ask her about that.
Yeah, Sincere says fresh and fit vocal, which work because a lot of men are scared. Speak red pill community crumble. They got keep it going. Kind of hard to read that sentence, but I think I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I like fresh and fit. You know what I mean? Again, I don't really get too personal with like their personalities. I mean, look, if they do things that's disingenuous, then they should take accountability 100%. But as far as the messaging that we're watching now, all cool. We one last comment, and we'll get back to the video. Grace says, this dang heart on the side of my phone is covering part of the comments, driving me nuts. Oh yeah, because now in the YouTube comments they have a heart, so you can like the video as you're watching, kind of like Instagram, but it's like
first world problems, Grace.
Yeah,
first world problem if I ever heard one.
Yeah. Last few messages and then we'll get going. Sincere says, I like how women are finally getting the message from the man side, because women used to cuss out Fresh and Fit. Yeah, no, I mean there's still that do act a little bit wild. But I think for
they cuss us out too, Sincere. I'm sure you feel it sometimes.
Yeah, and I think because people are watching a whole bunch of clips on Instagram, but they're not actually watching the full live stream. I know it's a few hours long, I get it, but you just take that time out of your day to watch a full live stream, you'll find some really decent conversation. I always watch in context rather than just a 60-second clip and then making my judgment based on that. I watch the full thing to understand why it got to that point in the first place, because people can edit things all day long and you just watch and believe it because our mindset is so short time these days. It's like everything gotta be instant. We need things to be short. You walk things too long, start to lose that attention.
Julius is overcoming the ADHD for everybody out there. That's just the kind of commitment he gives you people.
Go with the context, folks. Take 4 hours out of your day like I do.
Or just err to his judgment if you trust him.
Yeah, Grace said I'm in the bedroom. No, I knew what you meant, Grace. I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was just saying that even in the bedroom, if you have to lead the man in the bedroom, it might make him still feel emasculated even in the bed, unfortunately. Eric says, I want a man who can pay his half, not support me. I won't have kids, so the school and S is never going to happen. Yeah, you want a man to pay his half. I mean, again, that sounds like a 50-50 relationship. You want him to pay his half, you pay your. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Let's ask Eris the question. So, Eris, do you, in a man, in a mate, do you want a 50-50 partner where it's equal? You can both kind of have an equal vote and cancel one another out or whatever. Or do you prefer a leader of a man? Because you can't have both, unfortunately. It would either be one or the other, where like authority is kind of granted to the leader, whereas a 50-50, there is no authority to either. They can cancel each other out with the vote. So we were asking that earlier in the show. I don't know if you caught it, but it'd be interesting to get your take as a lady.
Yeah. So the question should be 50-50 or 100%. 50-50 or 100% leadership. Men and women got to remember money don't define them. Yeah, I'm not saying that money defines you. I'm saying that money comes into play, because if you want a long-term relationship like family and kids and things like that, even if you just want marriage and you don't want kids, money's still going to play a part because you want to live together. Somebody's got to pay the bills. Money has to play a part. So for when women say it's not about money, but it is though. Like it plays a part in the marriage, especially in a long-term relationship. It plays a part. So you're going to want a man to make something in order to secure the future. If you just say, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was going to say, if you say that, it's not about money, that's just a straight up lie. It's not about money. As long as the man treats me right, well, then go date a homeless man. If it's about just treating you right, go date a homeless man who's doing nothing but being out on the street. As long as he treats you right? Somewhere down the line, you're going to say, I wish he would be ambitious and have a job, because you want him to make some money. It's just what it is. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just what it is.
It's important to make money. I would say money is not necessarily what it's going to boil down to entirely, but it is an important amplifier, accentuator of life. So there's no avoiding that. And if I had a young daughter or something, I would be asking her what she's looking for out of a relationship, because I would say you're kind of being naive not to consider a man's financial, means if you're going to try to consider him for your husband.
Yeah. So we're going to go on to the next clip. We can go on about this all day long. So we're going to go on to the next clip. This right here, and we'll read you guys' comments too. We're going to get more of these clips. So here's a video right here. It says, Myron doesn't miss for 12 minutes. Melina played devil's advocate. Now, if you guys are just tuning in and you don't know who Melina is a woman. She's on YouTube. I believe she's also on Twitch as well. She is the wife to a YouTuber named Destiny. Destiny's been online for quite some time, building platform up. Met this girl. She's from Sweden, actually. So she came from Sweden and now lives in America. So she's very, she likes to debate. I would say very.
You've been saying that every time. You're trying to like put it in the nicest way possible.
I mean, look, at this point, I'm going to say I think she's very argumentative. She loved to argue. Sometimes I think she likes to argue just to argue because she wants to be right. She wants to have a point, but her point doesn't really get across because the things she says goes against exactly what she's doing. She's in a promiscuity relationship, so her trying to speak on certain things just doesn't make sense if she's doing that exact same opposite. Now, she's not in her lifestyle to other people, but it doesn't make sense. So you'll see. So here's a video right here where
Julius,
Myron No, it's all good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to shout out to Rachel over in my Discord there. If you guys, it's our Discord, I should say. Everybody's like Julius and all of us, but We got a fam over there, and Rachel's adding a little bit of input here. She's following along. Rachel, we appreciate your comments. She said, 50-50 versus leader, question mark. There's a difference between, well, before that she said love versus respect. That's a good topic. But then she said there's a difference between homeless and it being about money. A man is supposed to be a provider. Homeless man can't provide for himself. Not wanting a homeless man doesn't mean it's about money either. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to get into that more nuanced discussion.
Right, but she says, and I totally appreciate Rachel for tuning in. Thank you, Rachel. I always appreciate you. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying it's about money. I'm saying that money plays a part into the relationship because because again, it's the reason why women say, I don't want no bum. And not to quote Myron, but I will quote Myron on this. Women say one thing, but their actions always speak louder than words because you say that you don't want no bum, right? If you don't want no bum, that indicates that you want a man to at least be making some money. And Rachel just said a man is supposed to provide. Supposed to. You see how there's already a supposed to for men, but then when we want something that's supposed to be for women, it's always like we get demonized for it. So if you're saying a man is supposed to provide, therefore you want a man to make some money. Otherwise, you wouldn't be, not you, Rachel, but women wouldn't be saying, I don't want to date no bum. Because you want a man to be at least ambitious, driven, and that ambition and that drive leads towards the money in order to provide down the line. So I'm not saying it's about the money, but I would argue that women would like to date a man who is making at least some money in order to secure his future.
Hey Julius, how long is this clip? Because your boy really kind of has to take a leap. He could hold it, but if it's a long one, I'm gonna make a run.
No, yeah. Just go ahead, do what you gotta do, and then I'll just talk until you get back.
No, that makes me feel pressured. Then I probably won't be able to go.
No, it's all good. Go do what you gotta do.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
No, it's all good.
It's not urgent.
Bro, it's fine. Go do what you gotta do. I'll talk. It's all good.
It's gonna take me forever. People are gonna be like, he's taking his shit, bro.
I mean, you got to take it. All right, so Nick is currently going to go to the bathroom real quick. So if you guys got any comments you want to talk about, I'm not in. Let me go ahead and check Discord and see what they're talking about, and I'll read you guys' comments as well. So that way I can kind of chime in with you guys. So real quick, so to Rachel, again, Rachel, this isn't me trying to disagree with you, trying to put you down. I'm just saying that I think when it comes to the homelessness, right? I get what you're trying to distinguish, but I'm not saying date a homeless man because it's about the money. I'm saying that if it's not about the money, right? A homeless man is still able to provide for himself because he has a tent. Nowadays, homelessness, they have tents. I mean, if you saw the video that went viral online with the homeless guy who had a tent, he had a big TV in that tent. I mean, he had a big screen TV.
I'll provide you all the heroin or crack you could want, woman.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from, but he had a big screen TV. He had it all in that one little tent. So clearly he's able to provide for him wherever it came from. A lot of homeless people are actually on assistance. So they're getting money from the government. You get what I'm saying? So clearly he's able to provide for him. But what I'm saying is that when I hear women say, I don't want to date a bum, I know that's a phrase. That's basically saying that they don't want to date a guy who's not ambitious or driven enough in order to make something of himself. Therefore, when they do get with a guy, they want him to at least have a job so that when they get with him and want a long-term relationship, money will play a part to secure the future, especially if you're going to have children with that guy. I'm just saying these homeless dudes nowadays, they got a big screen TV in their tent. Where that comes from, I got no idea. They're probably getting a lot of money from the government and then going straight to Walmart. So, all right, let me show you guys comments too. So I'm going to check the Discord chat as well. And then I'm also going to read some of you guys' comments. So somebody said a homeless man provides for himself in his tent. Hey, I'm just saying. That's what somebody said on the Discord chat. I'm just saying. Homeless people today, they have it made. They just don't have the house. They have a tent. You'd be surprised. I got homelessness down my area from where I live, and you'd be surprised at things they be doing. They be cooking things all the time. They got the grill going. It's wild stuff out there. So I'm going to read some more of you guys' comments. Let me start with Grace. My husband supports me and our kids. My husband supports me and our kids financially, physically, spiritually, etc. and making demands in the bedroom is good for both partners. I get what you mean, but I think ultimately, I think the woman likes it when the man is dominant. So at least that's just my opinion. Um, Eris says, I don't want him to feel uncomfortable. People do stare when a woman pays. Yeah, I mean, listen. Again, this is why I think that the whole chivalrous thing, right? To be chivalry, some will say chivalry is sexist because there's always an expectation for men to be traditional, but when a man wants a woman to be traditional, we're not talking about the polygamy thing. I'm just saying in general, when a man wants a woman to be traditional, we tend to get demonized for wanting a woman to be a certain way. But yet we are, as Rachel said, we're supposed to provide, right? We're supposed to do this. So if men are supposed to be a certain way, why can't we want women to be what we like them to be? So I always find that interesting that women always say men are supposed to provide. You're supposed to do this. Well, women are supposed to value their body and not sleep with a bunch of dudes. We don't live in that world. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest, man. I mean, look, take it how you want it, but I'm just being honest.
And women aren't supposed to be hoes, but hey, I mean, that's just 21st century.
You used to always hear this phrase back in the day, my body's a temple. Well, now everybody's in that temple.
Yeah, it's not very holy anymore. Well, it's full of holes, but it's not very holy.
Sincere says men provide for women. When men provide for women he sees value, not just smash chick for a good. Oh yeah, men don't provide for hoes. That's just what it is.
Oh no,
they don't provide for hoes. They'll smash and grab, and that's it. So.
Provide some D for host. That's about it.
Yeah, no, K-Train, Grace. I'm just being honest, folks. I'm trying to just be honest best way I can. All right, so we're gonna react to this video here. So again, this is Myron Doesn't Miss for 12 minutes, and then Melina, Destiny's wife, is playing devil's advocate. You guys will watch this video, so check this out and let me know what you guys think.
The lawyer. Well, according to Tort 47, the law school that I'm in right now, love is actually peripheral. Anyway, go ahead.
But she's an attorney.
Well, I was gonna say that women love more, but after Myron, you just worded it saying who cares more, and I think this whole entire night we've been talking about how men are the leaders and men are the ones that take care of and provide and this and that. So shouldn't men love more? I'm just. Because I know you guys. No.
Let me ask you a question.
Real quick. So the context is who loves more. Who
loves harder, kind of. Who's like the harder lover?
No. Well, I think it was like who should be more in love. Should the man be more in love with the woman, or should the woman be more in love with the man? You know what I mean? So that's where that comes from.
If men are putting their ass on the line and they're gonna protect us and they're gonna be like, if it's a dangerous situation or you're gonna put the family first and stuff, shouldn't you guys love more? If we're opportunists,
doing everything.
Exactly.
The least you can do is love.
All right. All right, so
if women are opportunists and men are idealists, then men technically love more.
No, I disagree with that because you're even a guy that doesn't know you, that doesn't have any type of allegiance to you, will still show you some level of chivalry or damn near being a simp without you doing anything for it.
So that's the man that's going to put me and my family first?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that okay, let me ask you this. Who appreciates being simped on more, men or women?
Good question.
I think men.
That is such a freaking good question, by the way.
Because, and I'm going somewhere with that. If you get something all the time, it has no value. Okay? The reason why the woman needs to care more is because we're already operating from a deficit as a man. You're already getting simps hitting you up. You're already getting, opportunities. You're already getting guys willing to spend money on you, protect and provide for you for nothing more. Hold on. But the point is that women don't appreciate chivalry anymore, which is why I said chivalry is dead. So to overcorrect for this crazy discrepancy in 2023, the woman must care more about the man because, quite frankly, I hate to say it like this, women are terrible people when they have leverage. They don't appreciate things because they're given everything for simply existing. And I don't blame you guys for it. If I was 18 years old, having bad chicks willing to fly me out to LA to hang out with them, or being invited on yacht rides, or being invited to Dubai, whatever, for nothing more than the fact that I have a penis, I'd be a piece of shit too. But since I understand this, I know that men, right, need to be in a position where the girl likes him more to overcorrect for all the things that men have, for all the discrepancies I just mentioned, the severe deficit in the dating marketplace. Because you get all the things I mentioned just now for free. So women don't appreciate simps, but men do. That's why. You're going to get good treatment if you simp on your man, but he's not going to get good treatment if he simps on you.
Interesting.
Right?
Let me
I'm gonna pause that right there real quick and kind of just touch on that, because let me just rewind it for folks that want to hear it again. So,
And when you guys hear me doing that, I hope you realize that's a shout out throwback to Home Improvement, Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the grunts. It's a little bit of an homage to that in Arsenio Hall's Dog Pound.
So here's that last statement that Myron was saying.
I'd be a piece of shit too. But since I understand this, I know that men, right, need to be in a position where the girl likes him more to overcorrect for all the things that men have, for all the discrepancies I just mentioned, the severe deficit in the dating marketplace. Because you get all the things I mentioned just now for free. So women don't appreciate simps, but men do. That's why. You're going to get good treatment if you simp on your man, but he's not going to get good treatment if he simps on you.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I want to touch on right there, what he was talking about. So we'll watch more, but that's what I kind of want to talk about is the fact that, who should love more? Should the woman love the man more, or the man love the woman more? And when Myron is talking about in that example about if you simp on your man, you get good treatment, but if a man simps on you, he gets the total opposite, which is actually, I would agree, I think it's really true, because again, it's anecdotal, but for me, I've been in positions where, I'm kind of more of the one that was loving more, if you will, and I saw the treatment towards me, but then when I saw the female treat me a certain way, I would then treat her with way more love, if you will, because she was feeling me so much to where I couldn't help but treat her with nothing but respect and love. Do you get what I'm saying? So because it's like, that's what men tend to want. We want to feel wanted, essentially. And for a woman, she can get that all the time. Her DMs are always full. If she's attractive enough, DMs are full. She's got dudes wanting to get her number when she goes to the club. She got guys hitting on her. But for a guy who doesn't have status, it's a lot harder for him to even get one girl to even talk to him. Or when he approaches a girl, he's a little more nervous, voice is crackling, all this kind of stuff. So it is a lot different when women do love more than versus a man who loves more. So I would argue that a woman does have to like you more than you like her, because once she likes you and has that high attraction to you, nobody else exists except for you. But the moment you start to lose that masculinity, now other guys start to pop up because she's looking at the better option. So
I love the question, man. Great question. And it reminds me of questions that you think of. You like to ask great questions. And I would say men aren't really given an inch in this world, let alone simped to, for lack of a better term, very often, ever, in any situation ever. In fact, we have to kind of claw off just to get respect and to survive day to day. So when a kind-hearted, sweet soul comes her way into our life and gives us some of that, and just truly seems like she's really appreciative of us and values us and wants to, she's in love with us, sip with us, man, we'll give her the world. We'll happily slay dragons all day to give her the world. And in reverse of that, it's because why women are so put off by it is because we all want what we can't have in this world. I mean, it's just a very obvious psychological thing that they know. And women have people simping to them, again, all the time, because they're the ones with the value inherently. So since they're getting that all the time, this is kind of messed up, and I always am cautious about putting this out there, but what the hell? We got to figure things out. When I was young, I stumbled ass backwards into a crazy realization, and it came from the fact that women who are born hot and just walk around with their nose in the air, acting like their shit don't stink because everybody caters to them and worships them, shows them a bunch of attention, they get whatever they want. I just on principle was like, fuck that. Just because they were born hot, they get everything in this world. I'm not paying them any attention. I'm gonna act like they don't exist. And me and my homies over time started noticing like the hot girls noticing me. And they'd be like, what are you doing? How are you getting these girls? And I'm like, honestly, man, it's the damnedest thing, but like I think it starts with like paying them like they don't exist. Because I realized all girls, and the harder the girl, the more this applies, they're getting attention all the time from endless amounts of sources, endless suitors. Pretty much everybody they turn it on for, they could get that attention. Well, who's this one guy that can't be bothered to notice I exist, let alone cater to me? Everybody knows I exist. I'm going to make him notice I exist. I'm going to make him want me. And if you play your cards right, you got yourself a fucking 10.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100% because, again, there was a time in my life where I was that guy that, again, that loved harder than the woman. And because of that, you know, I didn't get the best treatment, if you will, right? And so the moment I changed that and became more about my purpose and didn't pay attention to her, I started seeing the shift and change because I was more focused on my job and making money, getting my sleep, my exercise, and all this stuff. Now the text message comes in. Now the phone call comes in. And then when I'm not at her beck and call, it's more phone calls. It's more text.
Suddenly she's at your beck and call.
Exactly. So it's like the moment I even respond back, now I'm getting text back in like 2 seconds versus 2 days. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's one of those things where, again, as somebody said in Discord, that it's the ego. It is. Male and female both do have ego, but women have an ego when it comes to their looks. If they're hot enough, they think that they can get all the attention. That's why the thing called pretty.
Because they always have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, you can always trace it back to high school because you look at all the hot chicks, right? All the dudes wanted the hot chicks, but not all the chicks wanted the dudes. Not all the hot chicks wanted the dudes because they get it all the time. So what's better is to get the attention, you know what I mean, or to just
they want the guy that's unreachable. They want the top because they can get anybody else, and so that's not interesting to them. They did an experiment on children. They've done it time and time again. I think it was in the 80s, where they put these kids in a room, and there's hidden cameras. The kids don't know they're going to be filmed, but they're like, all right, it's filled with toys, like all the toys a kid could want. And they're like, all right, we're going to leave you in here alone. You can have at this place. Do whatever you want. Play with whatever. Except one rule. You can't touch this. And they would just put some inanimate, stupid object in the middle of the room. And then pretend they left and they'd watch them on the hidden cameras. And instantly, every single time, the kids' full attention just goes to whatever you tell them, like, not to be touching, ignoring all the other endless great stuff in the room. And then sure enough, within a moment, they're like walking up to it, and then within minutes, they're just obsessed with that. They're not even paying attention to anything else in the room. We all want what we can't have, especially the hotter the woman, the more it applies, because she gets what she wants usually.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. It's true. It's the reason why when you see, you know, like the jocks have the baddest chick, right? Men wish they can have that. So then what do men kind of do sometimes? They be shady. Try to get at your girl because it's like, I want that too. Even though there's a plethora of other women around, it's that one chick that's like, dang, he got her. I want her too. So he's gonna try to be super friendly with her. Do you get what I'm saying? Trying to snag her. It's a cold world, bro. But that's what it is when you're hot enough. That's why other chicks are like, why all the guys going after her? She has a man because men want what they can't have. It's I would argue it's just saying the other way around too. So
everybody wants what they can't have. Yeah.
I want to read Rachel's comment on Discord. She said, "I disagree with one should love." Of one should love more, but I agree with the idea of treating a man exceptionally. I think the love is shown in a different way. Love is shown in a different way, but I think that it's better for the woman to love the man more than he loves her, because once he's that guy for her, no other guy exists. There is no 1 foot in and 1 foot out. There is no, I'm going to keep my guy friend around just in case something happens. No plan B. There's only that guy, and that guy only follow his lead. When a man ends up liking you a whole and you like him, that is a problem because you're putting her on this pedestal and she hasn't done anything to earn it. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why you see a lot of men. That's why you see a bunch of men these days get, you know, ghosted and things like that because they're putting so much in this female. I like you. You're the best thing. I feel like I've known you forever, and it's only been one date. you get what I'm saying? Yep. So now one day a man feels like she's at everything, and she's like, I've only known this guy for one day, and he's already fallen in love with me. That pushes her away rather than her coming towards you. You get what I mean? So that's why I think it's better for a woman to like you more than you like her. So we're gonna continue watching more of the video. Real quick, Grace's comment says, Julius, if you're loving the woman, if you're loving more than the woman, you're with the wrong woman. Walk away. Yeah, I have walked away. You know, it is what it is. But you learn from that to understand why women must like you more. That's why I say a woman who has a high interest in you, she's liking you more because she sees who you are when she first meets you. She likes that masculine man. She likes that guy who's confident, who's humble, who's chill, who got his life together. She likes that. That's the high interest she has because she sees that you got it together and you know what you want. Once you start to get vulnerable and you lose all of that and you get comfortable, now she starts to kind of slip away because she's not seeing that masculinity. She's now seeing someone who's just like her, and that's what draws her away versus her getting closer. So here's more of that video here.
Let me just, if I can, just give a quick, very tangible example. All three of us had to put in years of work, thousands of video, millions of dollars we've all made just for the chance for the three of us to be on this stage hosting a show and being special guests. What have you guys done to be on the show? What have you guys, yeah, all we had to do was to get you amazing girls on the show was say, hey, we're doing a show. We need a bunch of girls. We got 50 women to say yes, and we picked 20 of you. And thank you guys for being here. But the qualifications and the standards to get on this fucking stage are very, very high if you're the dude, and not so high if you're the female. I'm sorry to say.
Real quick, I want to pause that, and that's actually a good point that Sosnick said. That's a good point, is that they had to work to get to a certain status in order to have those females come on the show in the first place. Imagine, Nick, imagine you and I trying to get those girls on our show.
We've done it a million times. We can't even get one girl that we had scheduled ahead of time to fucking show up. You know, like
we've gotten Angela and Amy. We gotten Rosita on here.
And we're extremely grateful for them, by the way. They're the awesome chicks that actually show up when they say they're going to. They deliver more than you expect. Love it. Not talking about that.
Yeah, we appreciate them. But what I'm saying is that if Nick and I reached out to hot chicks like we see on the stage here on the podcast on Valuetainment, if we can't even get those chicks to come on the show because our platform isn't big enough. Our audience isn't. When that podcast was happening during that live stream, they had like at least 14,000 people watching. We have you guys, and we're grateful for it.
Like 14 people watching sometimes.
No, and we're grateful for everybody that's even
absolutely every last one of you.
But what I'm saying is that imagine if that 7 that we see watching right now, imagine if that was 7,000. Imagine, you know what I mean? Imagine that was 7,000 people watching, even just 700. That shows that we're getting some type of attraction. So if we're getting that kind of attraction and our content gets out there and gets viral, people see that and go, oh, wow, these guys are somebody. I want to go on and have a conversation. Now we can just reach out to those girls and bring them onto the show, and they have to do nothing in order for us to get them onto the show, while Nick and I are busting our butt doing this podcast in order to get guests on the show. It's just what it is. Now, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying it's just what it is. Men work hard in order to get a certain level so we can have these certain opportunities and whatnot, right? And I think this girl in the video makes the point about that, about men giving women the opportunity, but that's the point, is that they work to get to that level in order to give those girls the opportunity. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but again, it all goes back to why the woman must love the man more, because again, if he's at a certain point and she likes that guy, has a high attraction, and see he has it all together, she's gonna want to be with him and explore that a lot more. If the guy is loving her a lot more, she's gonna feel resented by that and push people away. Now, real quick, I want to address Casey. Sorry, I want to address Casey.
No, you read my mind. I wanted to ask you what you think about her comment.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna read Grace as well. Casey said hot guys are the same, and she said it's a she, right? Casey, it's a she. Is Casey a she or a he?
I don't know. I don't want to guess. I'm not sure.
Okay. Casey, if you're a he or she, I'm sorry if I get that wrong. But Casey said they always get what they want. Here's the thing. I will say that there are guys who are handsome that may get a foot in the door, but they still have to have a level of status. Do you know what I mean? In order to even get to that spot. So some handsome guys may get certain things, but I would argue even with that, there still has to be a level of status either way for that hot guy to even get somewhere in life. He can be hot all day long.
We can't cash in our hotness as men the way women can. It's not a commodity. It's not valuable. Like, we can't literally leverage it for endless amount of things, whether it's favors or dates or literally like they could put you up in their house or whatever. Man, I've seen a girl will not be homeless if she don't want to be. A guy will fucking put her up that day. There is a guy out there that would put her up. Us men, on our looks alone, it just doesn't do it for you ladies like that. Not to say that you guys don't find men hot and whatnot and do more for a hot guy than not. But it's not like it doesn't move you like men do for physical stuff.
But hold on. But even with that hot guy, right? Hot guys don't just come with the face. They work out. They're hot for a reason because he's worked out. He still had to put in work in order to get to that point. Females are just born with it. They just born with that face. Hot guys have to kind of come up with that. You know what I mean? There are some girls who are just born with it. They grow up looking pretty. But even the guy who's hot, he had to work to be that. So at the end of the day, that guy still had to work to be hot, whereas a woman doesn't. That's the difference.
Look what K-Train said, bro. I've got a good buddy that pulls fine women just from his looks. Hate hanging out with him.
But I guarantee you he had to work to get that look, K-Train. Now, if it's just mind you, what if he had like a decent face, but he's like super heavy, right? Probably wouldn't get that many females, but I guarantee he still had to work on himself. If he's like ripped and in shape, he had to work to get in shape in order to get those hot chicks to like him. So at the end of the day, men are still having to put in work in order to get a level of status, whereas a female doesn't have to do nothing because she just has the looks. Nick, real quick, before we end this live stream in a few minutes, or about 20 minutes or so, I do want to show you something about that, but I'll talk to you in the end. So basically, there's a picture on Twitter where this rapper, I don't know who this rapper is, but he was saying that skinny chicks with no like body, like no curves essentially, look better than chicks with BBL, right? So this guy in the comments said which one, and it was a top and bottom. There was chicks with curves and chicks with not. So I mean, I already know where my mindset was on that, but I want to talk to you and see which one would you choose.
Let's do it.
So we'll go through it again. So yeah, so let's watch more. Real quick, I want to read Grace's comment before I forget. She said 5 love languages. They actually work when you know which ones each prefer. We go over it about twice a year as we grow and change together. Now, I get all that, but me personally, I'm not into the whole love language thing. If you don't know that about each other, like over time, I don't understand why you need to have like a list to say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Hey, look, that's your thing and it works out. Knock yourself out.
Feels a little womanly, I gotta say. It just feels a little womanly, and maybe that's good if the woman needs that. You guys can establish that in your relationship.
Yeah,
I just as a man, I don't.
Yeah, because men are very simple. We don't need like lists to tell us how we should.
Kind of goes over my head. The less I have to talk about feelings and emotions and love language and stuff, that's all I need.
Exactly. So, but I'm just saying that's just something that guys not. I don't see guys having a list every year talking about who's naughty or who's nice. You guys kept that.
Dude, I don't even have like a thought at the end of the day. Sometimes, like literally no thought to bring up to talk to her about, like let alone my love language. We're just denser. We're simpler than that. We're much simpler creatures than. I think men, honestly, generally speaking, are pretty simple, like more or less. Like you can kind of, the basic archetype of a man is default across more men. They have more in common than not men. Women, on the other hand, I think are very complex, nuanced creatures that from one to the next can be totally different, and you have to learn your woman. For instance, a quick example of what I mean, a woman could be like sexually traumatized or something, and be very averse to like any physical aggression or something, dominance or anything like that sexually. On the other end of that, some girls have rape fantasies. They like that. You know what I mean? So it's too extremely. You got to learn the woman you're dealing with. That's an extreme example, but I'm just saying all the little nuances of every woman's different in that regard. Very, very nuanced and complex, I think.
Rachel says hot girls have to work to maintain as well. That's disingenuous. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly because, again, you might say hot girls have to work. They really don't, though, because they're
not that they don't want to. They'll still get plenty of attention and leverage.
Now, if you're talking about makeup, things like that, yeah, they're enhancing. But even without that enhancement, I would argue men still go after the hot chick. She may be hot, but even without the enhancements, men will still look at her and go, I would want her. She'll still get approached by a lot more dudes than her having to work for it. Because, again, the going to the gym part, right? They're working on their bodies, things like that. But I would argue that, again, hot chicks don't really have to do much to be hot. They're just already hot. And because men are attracted to physical, they see that and go, oh, wow, she's beautiful. I want to go talk to her. Well, whereas a man, I can't just walk up to her. I mean, I can walk up to a woman, but I don't have all the things that's check mark for a woman to like. You know what I mean? I'm not tall.
She'll laugh at us. They'll laugh at us most of the time. Well, I think what women don't understand, because they have a filter on that, they're only noticing like the men that are attractive to them and that they would want to be pursuing them back. They don't notice all the fucking beta male losers, the endless sea of them that are existing out there that would easily, happily come give you whatever you want just for being born, just for being hot the way you are. So just because all men, like the top class of men that you might want, the cream of the crop, you'd have to work to get them, it doesn't mean that there aren't tons and tons of dudes that you wouldn't have to do anything for, and they would do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. Casey says they can. Girls will go after hot bums. But here's the thing is that even with the girls who go after bums, they're there for a good time, not a long time. That's
exactly. A quick fix, but that's not going to be a long-term, man.
Yeah, because he may be hot for the moment, but they would go for a man with some kind of status in the long run. Again, a guy who's working, has his life together.
Hypergamy, bro. They're going to go for the highest social economic status they can get.
Yeah.
Just hypergamy 101. That's what it is. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not even hating on it.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. Grace says, I do need to know how my husband receives love, and he's fine with expressing it. We've been together for 25 years, but what do I know?
No, I'm totally with you, Grace. Yeah, we're not
happy for you. If it works out, and he's able to, if it works out and he's leading the way, that's fine. You guys can find that complimentary. That's totally fine. So shout outs to you, kudos to you. That's what's up. Casey says some guys are naturally hot and built too. I would say that
they don't get the same inherent value from that. They can't. They can't go and redeem things with that necessarily as inherently as you think we can. I'm telling you.
I'll give you an example. Even though this person I'm going to mention, it's different now with what's coming out in the news today or yesterday. But Drake, for example, right? Let's use Drake.
I've been saying Julius, I've been saying he's for so long. I'm so glad to see what's going on.
The whole nail painting thing? Yeah, dude, I know. But anyways, that's a whole different conversation. But here's the thing. Let's take Drake, for example, right? When you say men who are naturally hot, right? Drake, right? I would argue that maybe some girls liked him on Degrassi, right? When he was that dude. Yeah, he was in the wheelchair, but even before he got into the wheelchair, I would argue that there were some girls maybe thought he was pretty hot, right? But as he got older and started to do the music, the more he got the status, the more females he got. But really didn't look his way until he got status. So even though there might be guys who are hot, he still has to have some status with him, which is why the hot bums, again, good time, not a long time. Yeah, he might be good in bed temporarily, but for females, as Nick says, post-squirt clarity, they're going to realize he's not the guy for long term. So I always hear that argument too. Or there are guys who are ugly that get girls. Yeah, for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, quick play. That's about it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and watch more of this video.
Well, no one wants to admit this, but in 2023, women live life on easy mode because women are able to simultaneously double dip and act like a lady and get certain privileges, be treated like a lady, while also being able to be in their masculine and chase a career, etc. And I'll take it a step further. If they do decide to chase that career, a masculine one at that, they have an inherent advantage. You know, I saw that interview that you had with those 2 FBI agents. This is true. If you work in a masculine dominant field, women are promoted at a higher level, especially in male dominated. Like, we have affirmative action here, and women have all the same rights and privileges that men do while having female privileges that men will never enjoy. So the reality is life is easier for women in 2023.
And there's a reason why a woman makes $1 million on OnlyFans, and there's 1.47 million women.
Because men give it to them. Because men give it to them.
You guys don't get to do that. You guys have to work very hard to get where you are. So we're not equal.
She had something in the back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone was trying to say something in the back.
Yeah, I just think you say, well, women don't have to do anything to get this opportunity to be on this stage, but I think it's because you successful men are giving us those opportunities. You men are sexualizing us and you want us in the clubs, you want us at your table, you want us here, so we're here.
That's the point. Awesome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, piece of ass.
I'm not insulting you for taking the opportunity. I'm simply acknowledging that the opportunity exists.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And by the way, how many female podcasts do you see 3 females and 30 dudes up on stage being like, yeah, I'm out here just a dude looking to have an opportunity. You don't see it.
Here's the thing too, Adam, I don't know if you noticed it, right? Because what you just said was, the men are the ones inviting us and giving us these opportunities, etc. I always say on the show, privilege is invisible to those that have it. She said that knowing, right? Like it didn't even come to her mind that I'm getting these privileges because I'm a woman. She went ahead and said it anyway. It actually made your argument weaker. But women don't see it because privilege is invisible to them because it's so common. This is why I tell y'all, women live life on easy mode. So the only thing that they're going to respect is when they actually have to work for something. And that needs to be your validation, your attention, and your time.
I mean, you're kind of using this as decoration, you know.
Decoration.
It's like
that still does not
an opportunity for you too, you know.
Not really.
I didn't know there would be this many women, and I wouldn't have enough time to like.
That proves my point that there's many of you, but one of me.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like the things that make a woman attractive are extremely common.
But maybe a woman that had a podcast would choose the same amount of men so that
you want to hear
men
something funny?
can speak just
I've
as
on this.
women.
All the top podcasts, male dominated.
Yeah, I'm not saying that women are doing more podcasts.
No, but I'm just saying, and here's the thing, when women do have podcasts, I mean, I could think of like one successful one. They might bring a guy on here and there, but they're not bringing random guys. The guys have to have status to be able to come on.
Yeah. But so what's your point?
Free advice for the ladies out there. Start a podcast. Start a podcast.
What's your point?
And invite a bunch of random dudes on and see how many up to your podcast. You should start it.
Right.
Again,
let me know how that works out for you.
I'm getting a
My
red
point is
pill
to feel the 19th,
like,
bitch.
the girls are saying things that quite literally prove what we're saying, that women have privilege. And they don't even realize that what you're saying is privileged. You're saying, well, we're here for decoration.
Yeah,
yes.
Literally.
In other words, you don't have to bring value to be here. Yo.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I mean, a privilege.
Am I the only person that sees this?
What I will say is this, is that when you show up as quote unquote decoration, how you handle yourself is a very true testament to what you like. For instance, Janelle's had some amazing answers. Melina, very opinionated. I don't know how the audience feels about Melina. The girl in the blue, amazing answers. This girl over here, like how you handle yourself accordingly, like will dictate your value beyond just being eye candy.
Yeah. Much is given, much is required.
So,
if I feel like a decoration,
real quick. What's your name? Lewis. I guarantee you, right? You get a chance to sit right here. See, he wants to sit here, but he's not here. Why? He's not a woman. So for you, you should be glad to be here.
Right.
Opportunity. That's it.
The first thing Fresh got a word in. I like when he gets a word in.
Have to work far harder to get certain things that women get for free. That's just the reality. Women don't get boats and put a bunch of 18-year-old dudes on there. Men work really hard for 18 years to be able to purchase the boat so that the 18-year-old girls want to come, the 19-year-old girls want to come, etc. The 21-year-olds, whatever it is, right? Men have to bring value to get attention or even be seen by women, but women don't have to bring value on the other end. And here's the other thing too. There's a saying.
For a second.
Someone here could probably help me with this one in Spanish. The quieter you are, the more beautiful you are. right? Somebody got it?
Angie got it.
Angie got it. Angie, say it really loud for the audience. There you go.
That sound.
After that.
I love it.
But the,
All right, we're gonna pause it right there and kind of discuss that. So what do you think about that, Nick? About the fact that now, mind you, I'll play devil's advocate here. He says that the women had to do nothing for them to get onto the show, right? But to play devil's advocate, is it fair to say that there had to have been some level of status for the women as well? Because think about it, right? They won't just bring random women on. They bring on girls who have a certain level of popularity. So is it fair to say that maybe that they're bringing on women with also status as well?
Yeah, that's a great nuance, and you're only gonna get these kind of nuances at the age of men, folks. But yeah, absolutely, they're at the hierarchy of their marketplace, of their niche, and now these gentlemen have 50 women showing up when they only needed 20, so they get to choose the best 20, and the other 30 are not going to make the cut. And that's kind of to Myron's point when he was talking about, like, when you finally do earn yourself to like a high status male, that's suddenly what gets all women's attention. And now that leverage is shifted from a position that they've always been maybe even too comfortable with. They didn't even realize the privilege they had, the leverage they had, until they find themselves like simping, swooning over a man that's fucking taking them for a ride like they often take men.
Yeah, and to push back on myself for that, I would say is that even though those girls do have a certain level of popularity, which is status, they wouldn't just go on any random podcast, which is why I think I see where Myron is saying about they're going to go on Soft Nix's podcast because they had to do nothing to get on there but look pretty, right? But they still wouldn't have chose random chicks to get on as well. I mean, they brought chicks who've been on the show multiple times. They don't just bring random chicks. Now, some of those chicks, like the ones who are on the couch, might look random because some girls do. I mean, from what I understand, I could be wrong about this, but some girls do ask to be on the show, and so again, they do have this whole selection. So it's almost like an audition. They come and audition, so to speak, and then they pick the top whatever, right? So I guess you can say that maybe that those girls did have a level of status themselves. Social media presence, things like that.
They suck a good dick behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It could be any number of things, but they're doing something to get on there. Yeah.
My virgin ears can't take that right out. No.
Sorry, folks. That's getting towards the end of the show. Your co-host gets loopy at times. Now, show me these hot women or not. That's what I'm excited about. Let's get to that.
Okay, so this is what I saw on Twitter as far as now. The conversation around this was there's a rapper who said that women with no body look better with women with BBLs. And so the comment below had a comparison between curvy and not. So I thought I want to just touch on that real quick, and we can kind of maybe discuss that.
Love it. Let's go. People out there, I want you to vote with me. If it's option number 1, you just put a 1 in the chat as quickly as you see it. Option number 2, throw that out there, and I'll be giving my answers as lightning speed too.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys the options. So this is a rapper, I guess, whose name is Quando Rondo, said that skinny girls with no body look better than girls with BBLs. Okay, that's the statement. And so this here is the photo that the guy, whoever this person posted, and he said, top or bottom, make your choice. He said for him, it's top every day. And that says a lot about what men's shallowness, if you will. So here is that picture here. I'll do a full screen.
And for the audience, our older audience or people that aren't in the loop, BBL means Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah.
It is a popular trend nowadays amongst Hollywood women, and now just modern mainstream women are starting to do it. But
yeah, so for those who are in the YouTube chat and for those who are watching in the Discord chat, which would you now, mind you, what's your thoughts on that statement on that skinny girls with no body are better than girls with BBLs? Essentially, I'll say curve just to level it out. And so here's a picture of the top women with curve/BBLs or women who are skinny. So
the women on the top are 1 and the women on the bottom are 2. Put your votes in now, folks.
Yeah, so for the guys who are watching, maybe girls too, put a one for the
lesbians.
top, 2 for the bottom. And for those in the Discord chat, put a 1 for the top, 2 for the bottom. Now, Nick, rather than me tell you what I think, I want to ask you, what do you think I chose?
I'm gonna say I know. I would put money. I don't bet unless it's a sure thing, but I would put money on what you chose. Numero dos, bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I really
Likewise,
did.
not even a contest. And I actually fully 100% agree with the statement up front that a woman with an undeveloped body or whatever is still gonna be more attractive than a BBL, because BBL's fake, dude. I don't want that shit. It's ridiculous looking. You look like a cartoon, and then you're not gonna age well. It's got to be unhealthy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take BBL out of it, right? Let's do women with curves versus women with no curves, if you will. Then now let's say top is not BBL and it's actually women with curves versus the bottom. Now which one would you take?
But the women with curves look artificially made to me. Like, it's not natural curves. You know what I mean? I don't discriminate. I appreciate all types of women. So curves, not, yeah, but it has to be natural for me. I don't like the fake look. So still.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a woman with curves, but I do think that the BBL is very, very prevalent in today's society. I think that I'm leaving the picture up just for a little while longer, if folks kind of understand that. But
Right.
I know, right? don't mind my left hand. No, I'm playing.
We're just studying the game tape, folks.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the reason why I chose the bottom is because to me, I think that the curve can be problematic. Now, I don't mind a female with curves. I did women who have curves before. I don't mind it, but sometimes that can lead to getting bigger, getting more comfortable, gaining weight, things like that, not really kind of taking care of your body. Some people who have curves do go to the gym to keep those curves, and that's totally fine if you're active and whatnot. I don't got a problem with that. Casey trying to be diplomatic over here. Both are beautiful.
Julius, can you zoom in on the top one? I want to see both zoomed in, because she said both are beautiful. I don't know if I can sign off on the top panel. I might not find them beautiful.
Let me see if I can zoom in. I guess I can go like this.
If it's too much trouble, don't worry about it. But I don't know that they're beautiful to me from the zoom out.
Yeah, I can't really zoom in that much. I guess I'm trying to.
They're not beautiful. I'm actually seeing it on my big screen right now. They're not. I would not call the top row beautiful at all. In fact, no. I'm not into that.
I can't zoom in without the picture being cut off.
No, that was good. I saw it. I see them. Yeah, I would not say they're beautiful.
Yeah, the ones on the top, I don't. To me, that's a bit much. She said not this pick in general, but to me, it's not really the greatest. I think the bottom is a lot better because it looks like they take care of themselves. Nick, you mind talking to the audience real quick? Now I gotta use the bathroom. I've been holding it for quite some time. Whoops.
Yeah, bro.
Let me just do this. You want to talk to the audience?
Yeah. So at the end of this show, folks, where the discussion continues, chance for a shameless self-promotion. My Discord server is where Julius and I and a lot of other cool friends hang out. I posted the link in the chat, and at the end of the show, I'm going to try to remember to put it in the comment section or the info about for the YouTube post. So click that. It's an exclusive invite in. That's the only way you get in. Come check it out. Or actually on my Instagram or TikTok at C3Nick, it is linked in my profile. So you can find it that way too. But it's popping off over there. My staff, my team, they hold it down for us. They've built quite a little, what I like to call a digital speakeasy. The top pick is not it. I mean, women with curves and thin are both beautiful. Oh, yeah. As long as they're natural, women of all type. Rachel said, either way, I don't date women. Well, you might be getting some of that when husband Ty makes you do with the multiple women. So get ready, buckle up, wife, good wifey. I'm just sticking around. Oh, it's 11:11. It was a full moon last night. Did anything crazy happen for anybody? That's like for real. Full moons. Rachel, as a nurse, do you guys get more like crazy stuff going on at the hospital on a full moon? They say there's more like crimes going on, more police reports, calls, all that stuff. Man, so y'all talk to me. Give me something. I'm looking at all y'all chatting right now. Ty said, that's fine. Nice. Yeah, that's my team over there on Discord. It's awesome to see you guys watching this. Full moons are crazy, Rach. I know. Yeah, and if you guys in the chat are lost with who I'm talking to, it's the Discord chat. That's the only two I'm bouncing between right now. So, hey, there he is.
Just had these. I was holding it for a long time. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, dog. I've been holding it for a long time.
Bro, I get it. And from now on, I might be making a habit of doing that during shows, just so you know. I've held it one too many times for other shows.
Yeah. So pretty much, I'll finish off with this. Is that we saw with the top and bottom, right? The curvy versus not. To me, I don't mind. I don't mind both, but I just think that sometimes with the curve, it can end up leading to, getting too comfortable where now the curve become a blob. You know what I mean? And so I think a woman who has no body and keeping herself in shape, she's running, she's walking, she's going to the gym, she's exercising. I think that's a great thing. I like natural. The BBLs, I am not into BBL. I'm not into anything fake. The lip injections, the butt lift, the fake
weaves, fake hair.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. I'm just
nails. Julius, how about these chicks that have nails that are so long? Not only do I wonder how they open a door when they're functioning in real life, I wonder how they're fucking wiping themselves.
I know.
They're not. They can't be doing a very clean job down there with those things.
I know it gets all. Yeah, I don't want to think about all that, but yeah, it gets to be super weird. I'm just not into the fakeness. I like 100% natural all the way. That's just me. I like natural versus unnatural all the way.
Too.
I think the more natural you are, that's why I think the makeup thing, when they enhance their beauty, it's like when you see a chick with too much makeup, face looks a certain way. I just don't like that. I'm not into the hella makeup and things like that. Matter of fact, I will say I had a relationship last year where the person I was with was all natural, no makeup.
Me too. I talked to a girl recently like that. I couldn't agree more. And we tell women this, but they say, no, we do it for us. It's not for you, or some sort of comeback to that.
I call cap on that 100%. Most women wear makeup to look good for other people.
Well, maybe consider doing it for us. Maybe if you're not, like, do it for us. That'd be nice if you actually care what we think.
Yeah, I mean, like they probably do it for themselves, but I would argue that part of that is to look a certain way. This is why you see women. I mean, go to all the jobs where you see females at, not like the fast food. I mean, even with fast food, but look at all the jobs aside from fast food.
No, you're right.
Yeah, like a lot of the females, they all look a certain way. Go to 24-hour fitness. You'll see
Jordan Peterson, the psychologist. I respect him a lot. He's made the point before. He's like, look, why we shouldn't have makeup in the workplace? Perhaps we should consider that. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? Why shouldn't women be able to wear makeup? He's like, well, makeup exists to simulate the sexual flush, red arousal expressions that you get during sex in nature. That's the exact reason why nature or makeup came about. So it's like sexually insinuating at the very least. Hey guys, I love hitting Julius with some dope questions. Like he likes to throw stuff at me. So only an Asian Man exclusive. I'm gonna hit him with the hot question. He can ask me in return, just for you guys out there. Julius, if you had to pick one, are you a tits or ass man, boobs or butt?
My Christian values is when I answer this question.
Gun under your head, gotta pick boobs or butt.
I know my Christian values is saying not to answer, and I don't want to be diplomatic.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna push it. Yeah, if it's a value thing, a moral thing, I can respect that. For me, I'm ass all day. I'll answer.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I love boobies too.
Yeah, I feel I wouldn't mind answering it, but I just feel super awkward answering that question. I think to me, I just like I don't want to sound diplomatic and sound like the easy answer, the easy cop out, but I just like whatever if she's attractive, I know what's attractive to me, and when I see it, you'll know what I'm attracted to based on who I'm with. Put it like that.
Rachel's yelling, "Answer it!" No, we're gonna respect it. I actually think that's a great answer, Julius.
look, here's why it's difficult, because sometimes, man, okay, sometimes up there it's cool, but then there's nothing back there. But then when they have back there and nothing up there, like, okay, if I had to choose, I would choose the back door, only because even when there's nothing up here, the back door always looks cool. So
Still delicious. Yeah, it can still work.
Yeah, I don't mind whether there's nothing up here, but something back there. Because usually sometimes when there's something up there but nothing back there, it looks like a capital P.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather have a lowercase b than a capital P. Put it like that. Hopefully that
Rich said, okay, say I'm an ass man. Come on, Rach, don't push your luck.
I know. You guys trying to get it out of me, but man, my Christian values are saying, just answer that as PC as possible. So.
I'm grateful that you answered. I wasn't going to push. I wasn't expecting, and Julius always brings the goods, folks.
On that note, we will end this podcast. Just want to say thank you guys for watching. We didn't cover much of the Fresh and Fit clips, but hopefully we got enough for you guys kind of understand the dynamic between male and female. I think there was a lot of great takes, a lot of great hot takes. Hopefully with this conversation that Nick and I provided with our takes from listening to these videos were valuable enough for you guys to actually listen to and want to listen again next week. So again, we always
want a round two of the we could do it. Like, feel free to tell us in the comments and stuff. Which Julius reminds me, can I give you the link for my Discord to put in the comments or the about section after this, like so people can get it?
Yeah. Send me that link real quick, and then I'll copy and paste it to the
you the man, bro.
Wait, can you write in the comments? Right? Oh wait, but you have to. Yeah. Just send me the link, and then I'll copy and paste it to the comments right now.
On it.
But yeah, so while Nick is doing that, again, I just want to say thank you all for watching. We really do appreciate you guys for watching. We try to get more people over here. So when you guys see that we're live, or if you guys follow us on Instagram, do check out my story. I post daily in my story, especially for my lives. And every Sunday, I'm always posting the Age of Men podcast in the morning time so that lots of folks can see it by the time we go live. So when you do see it, check out our story. Even if you have to press the notification bell on Instagram to know when we post things, do that so you guys can share this out to your friends, your family, your friends, your acquaintances, your work colleagues, whatever the case may be. We want to turn the viewership from maybe 4 to 14 to 400 to 4,000. We definitely want to get this podcast up and going with you guys' help. You guys liking this and sharing this. Even if you guys found something valuable in this, you want to screen record something that Nick said, something that I said, and post it on your social medias, you can do that. Just make sure you guys tag our names, and we will put you in our stories, and hopefully get you guys some followers as well if you want more followers. And
just know that when we post stuff, if I do say so myself, it's the goods. So when you set those alerts or whatever, you're not going to be getting a bunch of BS. But anytime that we're trying to make content, we're trying to bring you guys quality. And I think Julius does a great job with that. I try to do the same. We hold ourselves to a high standard for that. Just know we're not trying to freaking annoy you.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring the goods.
So, and hopefully next week, we may or may not have a guest on next week. I got to work out the scheduling for that, and hopefully we can get quite a few people on here. I got to see how many we can bring on, actually. Hopefully we get a good panel, and Nick and I can have a great show. We'll react to stuff. We'll talk about things. All that good stuff. Again, I always find the dynamic between male and female very fascinating to me. I think it's a great conversation. It's a never-ending conversation. I think the only way we can really solve relationships today is men knowing who they are and how they can lead, and women knowing who they are and how they can nurture. I think once we get back to our nature, then we can definitely have a nurturing relationship. That's just my opinion.
Julius, I know a high note when I hear one, but unless you got anything else, I think we end on that one. Kill him and leave.
Yeah, I would just say, again, appreciate you guys for watching. God bless you guys. Do hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, do hit subscribe. If you're watching on replay, hit that like. Comment below what you guys think about what we watched, what we talked about. Follow us on all other social media platforms. I'm all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Gab, Rumble, all that
Discord. Discord. I just shared the link on Instagram to your DMs.
Okay, hang on one second.
That's where the after party will continue. maybe tonight and pretty much any night you may stumble into there, guys. It's a cool spot. I call it a digital speakeasy. It's where we can go hang out and talk real issues and not get suspended or banned or community guideline violations. It's pretty cool. So, a good group of people over there. Our little home base. It's a spot to network and whatnot, away from the same old on social media. And that's the end of my shameless self-promotion.
So I just put the, hopefully it pops up. I just put the link into the chat. So I'm on whether you see it now, you're watching it on replay, it should pop up. I'm hoping it pops up pretty soon because I just posted it in the chat. So if not, if not, here's what I'll do. I just posted it in the chat, but if not, at least I thought I did. Didn't I? Hold on a sec.
I can add it as a comment later or something. Don't worry about it for now.
Hold on, I want folks to see it.
That's what she said.
Okay, my comment should pop up pretty soon. Hopefully it does.
I want folks to see it.
Yeah, K-Train. Okay, I see K-Train's comment. Mine should have popped up in there too.
Thanks, K-Train. Appreciate you. Maybe it's just a delay on your end because it's a link. But either way, I'll share it in the comments afterwards, folks. Definitely click that Discord link if you know it's good for you.
I got you. Hold up. I do want folks in the comments to go to our Discord. We always have great conversations over there too as well. I believe this is it right here. Hold on.
It's what is it? Discord.com/common sense culture. Something like that.
There we go. Hopefully there we go. Okay.
Or discord.gg/common sense culture.
Yeah. That's right there. Yep. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. So again, hopefully you guys check out that Discord and you guys can hop in there. We talk about a lot. There's a lot of people in there. Sometimes when I go in there, there's like lots of folks, lots of great conversations.
It's booming right now. And Rachel's out for blood. She's like, these guys better show up in here. We said something that's got her coming forth. So come see that at least.
I'll do my best. I got personal things to take care of too, but I will do my best to hop in if I can. Again, we really do appreciate you guys. We want you guys to like this video and share this video. Comment below what you guys think. I know you're going to be watching on the replay. Comment below what you guys think about what we're talking about. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Check me out on my YouTube also today with Julius. I'm on YouTube as well. I do daily live streams. I'm going to have a guest on this Friday, my friend Amy. She was also on the Age of Men podcast. Go check that episode out like a few weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago by this time. But she was on there. Great person. She'll be on my YouTube this Friday. So do be aware for that. And make sure you guys follow me on there as well. So again, appreciate you guys. God bless you guys. And do come back next week. Keep watching this. We want to grow this channel. We need more viewership so we can get more engagement. Love to see, different takes and things like that. We read you guys' comments. That's what we do over here. We don't try to leave no man behind.
Julius, no homo, but just to wish you a happy 6-month anniversary, partner. It's officially a 6-month anniversary of Age of Men.
Really?
June.
Wow, we started. Oh man, wow, I didn't know that. Well, hey, happy anniversary to Age of Men podcast. That's what's up. Dang, that's crazy. Time flies, man. Only like 2-3 months.
Time flies when you're trying to whip betas into shape.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the first episode to now, I think there has been a growth in my opinion. I think we got a lot more transparent, a lot more nuanced, I believe, which I think is pretty cool. So this is why I would like to bring on guests to have a more nuanced conversation. Sometimes we might agree with certain things more than we don't, but it's just because it's how it's being said. So. And nonetheless, we appreciate that. So those of you guys have been watching, this is our 6-month anniversary. So I'm glad we can top it off this episode with watching content from Fresh and Fit. So
we didn't even need that, folks. It's just God is good like that.
I'm telling you all the time. So again, appreciate you guys, man. God bless. Again, like and share this video. Do follow us. If you want to support us as well, you can. Our Cash Apps is below. Help us kind of grow this channel. Maybe we can kind of do some more stuff, get some more features, all that good stuff. Hopefully one day we can, in the future, get a studio, but we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. So
any money you donate, we're going to put it towards the podcast. We're going to have studios, sound effects, good quality graphics, production, you name it. Any penny you give to us, it's not going to be spent on anything but that. You can rest assured of it.
Yeah. Jacqueline says, congrats, y'all. Appreciate you.
Thank you, girl.
Enjoyed it. Appreciate you too. Hey, K-Train's a real one, man. I gotta say, that guy's a farmer. I always give K-Train my Trump send-off. I always say, we love our farmers. K-Train, great farmer, great guy, plants the food, gives us great stuff. Love the guy, great guy. So anyway, so on that note, man, we're going to see you guys next week. Age of Men podcast, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So God bless you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.